But the press conference I achieved, but right now, no, that. Now, like, I'm really, man, I'm really angry. So, you know, I respect him, I respect me, it's okay, no worries.
I hope you had a good training camp, because I don't want no fucking excuses after I knock you the fuck out.
Welcome to Las Vegas. You know, tonight the PBC on Prime Video is kicking off a new season and a blockbuster of a fight card from the desert oasis of T-Mobile Arena, where two of the sport's most dangerous and exciting fighters will finally settle their grudge match, and it headlines the PBC on pay-per-view. You know, the disdain David Benavidez, David Morrell had for one another has been evident all week here in Vegas. They nearly fought, had to be separated at every face-off they've had leading up to this fight, but cooler heads seemed to prevail at yesterday's weigh-in, made sure to keep them apart. Stakes are high, loser suffers his first professional loss, winner becomes the mandatory for the undisputed heavyweight champion. And nearly 4 years ago, Brandon Figueroa, Stephen Fulton Jr. were both unbeaten, met the unified titles at 122. Fulton won a close, controversial decision. We finally get the rematch. This time they're fighting at 126. It's Figueroa who comes in as the champion and the favorite in the co-main event. And before that, fan favorite Isaac Pitbull Cruz. His world title reign lasted just 4 months, but he's back looking for another opportunity, and he's got his hands full against his fellow Mexican countryman, Angel Fierro. As we take a look at the entire fight card that you will see, the PBC on pay-per-view, the unbeaten David Benavidez on the unbeaten David Morrell, Figueroa, Fulton, Cruz, Fierro, and we'll start with Jesus Ramos and Jason Rosario. Well, hello everyone, I'm Brian Custer. Welcome to Las Vegas, our first of what we expect to be really a busy fight schedule this year for the PBC on Prime Video. And coming up, listen, we got 3 exciting preliminary fights for you here on Prime Video, featuring a couple of dynamic, unbeaten prospects. And then on the PBC on pay-per-view, we're bringing you a fight card that's stacked with high-quality matchups from top to bottom, highlighting current and former world champions. We got top contenders, and of course the main event features 2 unbeaten knockout artists, both of these guys promising a brutal KO victory. Joining me, of course, is the trainer extraordinaire, the Boxing Hall of Famer as well, Joe Goosen. And you know, Joe, when you look at that main event, and I'm talking about Morrell and Benavidez, give me the one thing that's got you excited for that main event.
The unknown right now. I mean, David Benavidez, he's a well-known fighter. We know what he does. We know how quick he is, the combination puncher, the pressure he puts on. We don't know much about Morrell, but what we do know about him is he was an outstanding amateur. He won a world title in his 3rd fight, went 12 rounds against a 22-0 fighter. This guy's got a lot of great qualities. Plus, he's a different style than Benavidez, which should really make it interesting. He's an outside fighter. He likes to use his reach. He's a southpaw, which makes it a little bit more difficult for Benavidez. This has just got all the earmarks of a great fight. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, David Morrell is a guy, as you talked about, unbeaten, but he is a southpaw, a little bit younger, taller, probably has a little bit maybe more range.
He does.
This should be a really exciting fight. You know, Benavidez and Morrell combined 40-0 with 33 knockouts. Then you've got the co-main with Brandon Figueroa, Stephen Fulton. That was a 2021 Fight of the Year candidate. And then, of course, we've got Isaac Pitbull Cruz. And listen, he's got his hands full with Angel Fierro. And listen, it's always exciting when you've got Pitbull. Just a few reasons why this is a pay-per-view fight card you do not want to miss.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about the undercard as well. That Fierro-Cruz fight could be the fight of the night.
Another look at the entire fight card. Again, Benavidez, Morrell. That's the headliner that you will see on the PBC on pay-per-view. The co-main, Figueroa and Fulton. And then you've got Isaac Cruz, Angel Fierro, and of course, Jesus Ramos taking on Jason Rosario. Big Lights of Las Vegas always draws big fights, especially here at T-Mobile Arena. You can purchase tonight's PBC fight. Scan the QR code that we'll have for you. And of course, you can purchase the fight. DraftKings, the official sports book here of the PBC. And you can always bet on all of these fights and make you some money. There's the QR code in case you want to buy the pay-per-view. All right, before we get to our first fights of the night, let's meet the men who will call all the action. We go ringside. Here's Mauro Ranallo.
Thank you very much, Brian, and I'm excited to be working with trainer Sugar Hill Stewart and analyst Brian Campbell. And Sugar Hill, the first fight between Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton was one of the best scraps in 2021, an all-action affair that saw Fulton use his accuracy and cleaner punches to become a unified 122-pound division champion in a fight that was closer than conjoined twins. They reignite their rivalry with Figueroa's featherweight belt at stake. What adjustments do they need to make to leave no doubt in the rematch?
Well, I think that the first fight was very exciting, and it was also very close. What Figueroa needs to do in this fight, I believe, is just be more physical. I think at this weight division, his dominance should maybe put more pressure on Fulton in the later rounds. And also for Fulton, he just needs to box a little bit stronger. And I think that's going to make the big difference, where it's not going to be a fight where it's a close fight, but a decisive win for either opponent.
We are all looking forward to round 13. Meanwhile, Brian, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and Angel Fierro, they are renowned for their aggressive, come-forward fighting styles that has fans anticipating a potential fight of the year contender. Given their shared Mexican heritage and reputations for delivering all-action bouts, what's your expectations?
In a word, Mo, fireworks. Look, I could say that already, given the fighting styles and the temperaments of each fighter. But we're just weeks away from the 25th anniversary of the first Erik Morales-Marco Antonio Barrera war and their famous trilogy. Both fighters, Fierro and Cruz, says they're motivated to add their own names to the Mexican lineage of great action fights. Fierro's long had a mentorship relationship with Morales. What do I expect tonight? Circle this bout on the bout sheet. Could be the best fight we see.
To honor great Mexican rivalries and the fallen Israel Vasquez, the WBC has made an Azteca warrior belt, and it will go to the winner of Cruz versus Fierro. Lots to look forward to on PBC PPV at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. But right now, we kick off the prelims on Prime Video, a scheduled 8-round contest in the lightweight division. Undefeated teen phenom Curmel Moton faces Frank Zaldivar. Let's go to ring announcer Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as Premier Boxing Champions presents our Prime Video Prelims. It is all brought to you by Samson Boxing, Warriors Boxing, TGB Promotions, and Mayweather Promotions. Sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. El Mexicano brand products, bringing authentic sabor to your table. Somos El Mexicano. And by the film Last Breath. Make every breath count, starring Woody Harrelson, only in theaters February 28th. Our 3 judges ringside are Glenn Feldman, Chris McGlory, and Steve Weisfeld. The referee in charge of the action is Harvey Dock. And now Premier Boxing Champions presents 8 rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing the red and black trunks, he weighed in at 135.8 pounds. With 5 victories, 3 by knockout, opposite of 1 defeat. Representing Miami, Florida, here is Frank El Perro Zaldivar. And now, introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the purple and gold trunks. He weighed in at 134.8 pounds. His record stands a perfect 1, 6 victories, 5 by knockout, no defeats. Proudly representing Las Vegas, Nevada, here is the young phenom, Curmel Big Deal Moton.
Okay, boxers, we went over the instructions earlier. As a reminder, obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck. Took a little Swanson.
Referee Harvey Duck will be the third man in the ring. Although, technically, Curmel Moton, he's a teenager. He's 18. He's taking on Frank Zaldivar, who comes in as a 28-year-old. He's 5-1 with 3 knockouts. Meanwhile, Moton building momentum early, 6-0 with 5 KOs, a protege of the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather, and in his early teens sparring with the likes of Gervonta Davis, catching the attention of the likes of Shakur Stevenson. And when you call him a big deal, well, he's proving to be just that early in the embryonic stages of what promises to be a real good career.
Well, Mo, I know you were already a successful pro wrestling manager at age 18, but most of us had no idea where we were going. So the poise of Curmel Moton this early in his career has been impressive.
And look at the combination punching, Sugar Hill right there, squaring up in front of Zaldivar, but not wasting any time and unloading multiple punch combinations.
I like the way he's mixing things up. He's trying to open him up. And those are things he has to do, and be patient.
He possesses speed, mobility, accuracy, and solid defense. And for an 18-year-old under the bright lights of Sin City, Brian, he's as composed and as real, just poised as you can be.
That's got to be his best early superpower. Obviously, he's got speed, power, and technique. You're watching that right now. But here's somebody whose head's not too big for himself at this point in his career. This is all normal to him, Mo. Imagine that.
And great start to this fight by Moton. Zaldivar standing right in front of him. Moton throwing a lot of punches. Midway through the opening frame, Zaldivar unloading, overextending with his punches, Sugar Hill, and Moton able to escape and reset, putting his feet down and lands a combination, although he was clipped there by Zaldivar.
Listen, Zaldivar, he's coming forward. He's going to continue to be there for Moton. And I think, this is a good fight for Moton. It's something that he needs, and this is what makes him into a champion, which everybody believes he's going to be.
And already here in the first round, Brian, we are seeing a little bit of everything. The upper body movement, the defense, the jab, the ability to roll with the punches, to block the shots, deliver combinations. Again, you don't want to overhype a kid so early, but Curmel Moton is showing you what you want to see out of a teen prodigy.
He did get hit clean there with that left hook, but he's handling the pressure from Zaldivar very well early and firing back with clean, hard punches.
And this is the kind of questions that Moton needs to answer, to have a fighter come forward and throw punches at him, try to put him in dire straits. Nice body shot by Moton. Final 10 seconds of what has been a frenetic first round. A terrific start for Curmel Moton, and Frank Zaldivar, well, he's there to time.
Good job, my boy. Okay, that's a good one, okay? Shrink it. Shrink it. I want you to spit nothing out. Okay, look, check this out. Sometimes we're getting a little reckless with the high guard. Remember I told you got to keep that chin down. Because why? He's shorter than you, so he's throwing up wide. Keep that chin down. The defense is good, but just keep it tight. Okay, now watch this. Start going to the doubles to the body behind that stick. That's why I keep on saying come around. Because why? He's protecting upstairs. You're getting him a good headshot, don't get me wrong. But it's going to be here.
Cabeceando, usando la cabeza. ¿Ok? ¿Me estás escuchando? Una agüita, una agüita. ¿Quieres escupir? Ahí mero.
Stay boxers, fundamentally sound. Come on, champ. Good job. I got you.
The bell and round number 2. Moton on a 3-fight knockout streak. He fought 4 times in 24. Last beating Hilario Martinez Moreno in October in the first round. Began his career with 2 first-round KOs. So while you like the knockouts, Sugar Hill, and I know you can't spell Kronk without KO, you also like to get experience. You like to get those rounds under your belt at this stage of his career.
Yeah, I like what Frank is doing. Frank is Zaldivar. He's putting pressure on it. He's not backing down. He's in there to win this fight.
Good counter left hook by Moton, but well said there, Sugar Hill. Nice defense to pull back there by Moton, missing. But Zaldivar, Brian, right in front of him, looking to try to disrupt Moton. But Moton, again, utilizing all techniques and all skills. Very versatile. Seems to be the complete package. He's only 18.
He's shown us nothing but great promise. And you mentioned those 4 fights last year. One of those, the first one, came in March of 24 against Anthony Cuba, the unbeaten opponent. Went 8 hard rounds, looked great late in the fight. It was a great growing experience for Moton. He'll give you the highlight reel knockouts. He also needs rounds at this point in his career.
And the punch placement, the double left hook to the body there, gets hit by the left from Zaldivar, but taking the steam off the punches. Now working forward, lands the left hook.
Yeah, what I see is Zaldivar and I see Moton. They're pretty much throwing like the same punches, but the biggest difference is Moton punches are much sharper and crisper and accurate.
Zaldivar made his pro debut just over 5 years ago. In fact, Curmel Moton was the first fighter to record a victory on the PBC Prelims on Prime Video last year in Las Vegas. And it was an incredible display by this youngster. And here he goes again, shoe shine to the body. The fact that he goes upstairs and downstairs, employing a complete game plan, Sugar Hill, has to be impressing you here with less than a minute left in the second.
Oh, yeah, those body shots are now starting to take effect, and you can see it's showing in his face and body language of Zaldivar.
Clipped him with the left hook, Brian.
You can see swelling below the left eye of Zaldivar as Moton continues to lay on these power shots.
His shots are tight and accurate. Moton.
Yep, 6 consecutive wins, 5 of them inside the distance. And he is wearing down the 28-year-old Frank Zaldivar, who has worked with Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr. in the past. Had close to 80 amateur fights and holds a win over fellow standout Angel Ruiz. So Zaldivar has some bragging rights in the unpaid ranks, but is in tough against Curmel Moton through 2 rounds. Time!
Good job.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey,
Stay, deep breath. All right, check this out. We're trying a little too hard with the wide hooks, okay?
We had 2 low blows that round. Make sure we keep them.
All right, don't worry, Doc. Okay? The reason why we got the lows is because you're not bending your knees. Bend your knees and get that body shot like your dad's telling you.
All right, Sugar Hill, let's revisit some of that scintillating action that we have seen from this promising youngster, Curmel Moton.
Okay? Yeah. Stick with the jab. It's gonna come. Stick with the jab. Give me a straight right hand sometimes.
Brian is a kid who obviously started young. His father involved in his coaching as well. Samad has a huge social media following, and for the first time, actually, earlier tonight, had a chance to speak to Curmel Moton for a few moments, and whatever the it factor is, he does have it. The kid radiates charisma.
He definitely does. He also still has that boyish smile, which is such an opposite to the aggression you see inside the ring right now.
Is this David Benavidez or Curmel Moton? He'll tell you he wants to be the first Curmel Moton. He's not the next Floyd Mayweather or the next anyone, but boy, he's putting together those combinations, now leaving himself a little exposed upstairs.
Willing to stand in the fire here in order to get these big shots off. You saw Zaldivar show you something at the end of that last round, like the accumulation is starting to get to him.
Yeah, he's not throwing as many punches anymore because when he throws those punches, he's leaving himself open for good counter punches to the body by Moton.
Can someone start communicating with me by phone, Mark Ortega, or something at the comedy box?
Check left hook there by Moton off the jab. And Shug, they're fighting in close range here.
Oh, there's a right hand by Zaldivar. This one is scheduled for 8 rounds. Moton went the 8-round distance in a tough but dominating win, as you mentioned, Brian, over Anthony Cuba. And that was the first fight ever shown on Prime Video. Now Moton has Zaldivar along the ropes where he's a sitting target.
You gotta show me something.
Those right hands are getting through the guard. The left hook.
They're going to stop it.
Overwhelming offense. Harvey Dock intervenes. Curmel Moton is now 7-0 with 6 stoppage wins. And I'm sure that's going to exponentially grow his social media following, because as the late, great, estimable Emmanuel Stewart, the father figure to Sugar Hill Stewart, said, knockout sell. Well, Curmel Moton, he's an award-winning salesman already.
Yeah. I like what he just did in this last round here. He was putting pressure on Zaldivar, and then he just slowed down and threw about like 5 or 6 jabs backing up, and changed the pace, had Zaldivar coming forward, and then he just went on a terror of punches that just resulted in the stoppage of the fight.
So let's take another look at how we came to our impressive conclusion here, Sugar Hill.
Yeah, it was just before that where he backed up and pulled Zaldivar forward to make him come forward to kind of gain a little bit of confidence, and then he just went right to work and just started going upstairs, downstairs, inside, outside. And yeah, they had to stop that fight.
Ring generalship on display in the mid-range, not smothering his offense, allowing himself to land those money shots, Brian.
Look, you don't want to fall too much into hyperbole, but he looks like a natural out there. He looks like a finished product at age 18. All you need to add is the experience that he's slowly starting to accumulate here.
Hyperbole is the greatest word ever. Let's go to Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Harvey Dock called a stop to this contest at 1 minute and 51 seconds of round number 3. For your winner by TKO and still undefeated, Curmel Big Deal Moton.
Started sparring professionals at 14. At 16, he sparred with Gervonta Davis at the Mayweather Boxing Club. And Brian Custer, this kid's future's so bright, he can wear shades indoors or outdoors. Back to you, my man.
Absolutely. Ooh, boy, he is young, but he is power-packed and powerful. Listen, folk, don't forget, you can buy the pay-per-view that will come your way later tonight. We got 4 stat fights featuring 8 fighters, 30 years of age and under. Just hit that QR code on the screen right now to get ahead of things, and you can purchase the fight as well. Back here with the Hall of Famer Joe Goosen. Listen, I tell you what, I know at 18, my body wasn't built like that. This kid is fast, he's got power, and I remember we saw him not too long ago, and we said, look, it reminded us of a young Tank Davis, but man, he seems
a cross between Tank and Mayweather, to tell you the truth.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from what you saw, and what impressed you most out of Curmel Moton.
Well, his maturity. I mean, not only that, his ability to counterpunch off of blocks like that, right there. You saw the right hand. That was, he lit that guy up with that left hook before he could get his hand back. If you touch Curmel on either side, he's coming back with a counter. And that's really a veteran move, an experienced fighter's move. He's got that already locked down at 18 years old. That's just incredible. I mean, you can teach 100 guys that counterpunch move, and they may never, ever get it. Some do, some don't, but most do not get it. That kid's got it. Then he's fast. He knows when to go in for the kill. He works the body and head. He gets his hands back quick. One of the things that's very dangerous for young fighters is when they go into that left hook to the body, they tend to drop the right hand and expose himself for a hook. This kid has got that locked in. And by the way, I loved his corner. I love the calmness from his coaches in the corner and the precise instructions. This kid's going all the way. And with that corner and his trainers, I think they got a great team.
Unbeaten now at 7-0, 6 stoppages. He's averaging basically about 2.3 rounds of fight. What's the next step for Curmel Moton?
look, just keep doing that. He's 18 years old. There's no reason to rush a kid like that. You know, back in the day, they'd give you, 10 fights a year like that, and they'd let you get the experience. So yeah, could he push forward because he is so talented? He could, but I say take it slow. He's only 18. Wait until he matures, gets that manhood in, when he really starts devastating guys with his speed, his footwork, and his power. Man, in a couple of years, he's going to be unbeatable.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk about the second PBC fight that you'll see on the pay-per-view, and it's going to feature the fan favorite Isaac Pitbull Cruz. He's fighting for the first time since losing his WBA 140-pound title to Jose Arrayo Valenzuela. He's fighting Angel Fierro, who says this will be, quote, the bloody fight of the night. Now, despite that loss, his popularity just exploded, especially with Mexican fans and that popularity I'm talking about just continues to grow with every fight.
But he's not out here on some social media boxing status.
I think it should be pretty fast too. I don't see it going past 6.
Both of them come, they bang. It's gonna be a dogfight. I promise you.
Yeah, I just think if you're gonna be Pitbull, you gotta have the balls. You gotta get up in there. You gotta really crack him and have good footwork and good defense.
They're gonna give us a fun fight. I'm so excited. My dad's been talking about Pitbull all week. Me siento muy bendecido por todo el apoyo que me han brindado toda la gente, no nada más los latinos, sino en el mundo en general. Y bueno, es una motivación extra, pelea tras pelea, ver el apoyo.
The winner of the Cruz Fierro will be given the first commemorative Aztec Warrior belt from the WBC. It's really a symbolic trophy given to the winner of important fights between Mexican fighters, and it's dedicated to the memory of Israel Vasquez, by the way, who passed away in December of cancer. Take a look here at the tail of the tape of these. You want to talk about Mexican warriors here. Same age, obviously around. Fierro has the height advantage, the reach advantage. Joe Goosen, Fierro says this will be the bloody fight of the night. Do you agree when you talk about the fight of the night?
Absolutely. I mean, look, I think this whole card is loaded with fight of the night possibilities. But I will tell you this, Fierro, he's a live dog in this. He's taller, but everyone's taller than Pitbull. Yep. He's got longer reach, but everyone's got longer reach than Pitbull. But he fights in a similar fashion. He doesn't take a step backwards. He's all aggression. He's got a very educated left hand. He can work the uppercut, body shots, hook. He's really good. He's got a great chin. It's a perfect matchup for two guys like this. I mean, this is a test for Cruz too. This is not a pushover. And like I said, both guys have great chins, but this could be one of the fights of the night. I think there's going to be more than one.
Well, the one thing that Isaac Pitbull Cruz said, hey, look, I love when I fought Rolly Romero and won the title because he was right in front of me and I felt like I destroyed him. He felt like Rayo's movement gave him issues. The thing about Angel Fierro, remember we talked with him, we said, will you give him movement? Because it kind of, it disrupted him. He said, no, I'm coming right after.
But see, here's the difference between Rolly Romero and Fierro. Fierro is used to the inside. Rolly always liked distance. His chin was up too much, his hands were down too often for him to be an inside fighter and to deal with a guy like Pitbull Cruz. Fierro, on the other hand, is trained like most of the Mexican fighters, very tight defense, good head movement, short punching, and the inside game is like mandatory. So no, this is not an easy fight. This is not going to be somebody that's totally vulnerable to Pitbull Cruz's offense.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this fight is it's about redemption for both guys. Both guys coming off a loss, and both say they need it very much.
And a loss to really tricky southpaws, both of them. Fierro and Cruz. So, yeah, those southpaws can give you problems, especially if they move well and they're quick-handed. I don't know if you saw the southpaw Fierro fight, but really good.
Absolutely.
He was impossible to fight.
Speaking of Pitbull, we talked about how his popularity just exploded, and really that happened in December. I'm talking of 2021 when Pitbull took on Gervonta Tank Davis. You might remember that, and he took him on short notice.
Short notice, yep.
And look, he took Tank 12 rounds. Keep in mind, Tank did hurt his left hand in that fight.
He did.
And boxed primarily with his right and just used his jab. and won that fight by decision.
Yes, but again, whether his hand was hurt or not, look, everybody's got to...
Oh, what a shot! What a missile strike by Davis!
Well, there's Ryan right there against Tank. And of course, Ryan landed some good shots.
Two world champions who were ready to go toe-to-toe in the ring on March 1st. Battle of Baltimore versus DC.
Speaking of Tank Davis, he will headline and put his WBA lightweight title on the line. It is the next PBC on pay-per-view event. It comes your way Saturday, March 1st, Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, where Tank won his first world title. Davis will face Lamont Roach. Of course, Roach, the 130-pound WBA world champion, stepping up in weight, says he's chasing greatness, seeking vengeance as well. You might remember Davis and Roach, both from the DMV area.
Right.
Tank won two highly contested fights in their amateur days. Give me your thoughts about Roach taking on Tank Davis.
I think Roach is really a very accomplished fighter. You know, he does great body work. He's slick. He's got good defense. He's got speed. He's a winner. There's one problem. If you're going to fight Tank, you better have power.
Keep him off of you.
To keep him off you, or else he's going to do what he did to Frank Martin, which was he put on the earmuffs and he literally ran at him sometimes to get to him. Frank Martin is as tricky a southpaw as you can get. And he's very fast, combination puncher, hard guy to beat, adequate power, but not enough to get Tank's attention. If you can't hurt Tank and make him think twice about marching you down, you're in trouble. And that may be the biggest problem for Roach in this fight.
We'll see. And of course, that comes your way March 1st. Of course, tonight's pay-per-view kickoff comes your way at 8 Eastern. And again, you're going to have 4 guaranteed action-packed bouts. And it will begin with Jesus Ramos taking on Jason Rosario. You've got Isak Pitbull Cruz taking on Fierro, then Figueroa and Fulton, and of course, Benavidez taking on Morrell. We're in Las Vegas, the fight and entertainment capital of the world. Listen, if you want to purchase what should be one of the best fight cards of the year, all you got to do is scan that QR code right there at the bottom of your screen. You got plenty of time to purchase it, and you will see a 4-fight card featuring some former world champions, current world champions, top contenders, all under 30 in their prime. Time for our next fight of the night here on the prelims on Prime Video. For that, let's go back ringside. Here's Morrell.
Thank you, Brian. And yeah, we are switching our attention to the middleweight division, an encounter that is scheduled for 10 rounds. There is a look at Angel Lightning Ruiz, 27, 18, 3-1, and there is, what is that, a Guy Hawk's mask? We've got Yoenli Hernandez, and boy, he's been showing his true colors. No need to hide that face. That's the face of a knockout artist right there. 6-0, 6 KO victories. He is 27 years of age, and yeah, just his 7th professional fight. You talk about being on the fast track. One of the sanctioning bodies already has him ranked at number 1. He went 4-0 last year. This is his 4th scheduled 10-rounder. He skipped fighting 4-rounders completely. Only fought 1 scheduled 6-rounder and 2 scheduled 8-rounders for his opponent. Ruiz, well, his first time in Las Vegas, making his 160-pound debut, his 5th scheduled 10-rounder. He missed weight by 2 pounds in his last fight back in November, which kind of made him know that, yeah, it's time to move up the scale, but he's also moving up big time in terms of level of competition despite only 6 fights. Hernandez is, well, an emerging monster. Let's go to Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we continue the action here from T-Mobile Arena with the PBC Prime Video Prelims. It is once again all brought to you by Samson Boxing, Warriors Boxing, TGB Promotions, and Mayweather Promotions. Sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. El Mexicano brand products, bringing authentic sabor to your table. Somos El Mexicano. In the film Last Breath, Make Every Breath Count, starring Woody Harrelson, only in theaters February 28th. Our three judges ringside are Eric Cheek, Patricia Morse-Jarman, and Don Trella. The referee in charge of the action is Alan Huggins. And now Premier Boxing Champions presents 10 rounds in the middleweights division. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing the red with the black and gold trim, he weighed in at 159.6 pounds. With 18 victories, 13 by knockout, opposite of 3 defeats and 1 draw. Representing Los Angeles, California, here is Angel Relampago Ruiz. And now introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the baby blue, red, and white trunks. He weighs in at 158.4 pounds. His record, a perfect 1, 6 victories, all 6 victories by knockout. Representing Providence, Rhode Island, by way of Camagüey, Cuba, here is the hard-hitting knockout artist, Yoenli Feliciano Hernandez.
Okay, gentlemen, you both receive instructions. Obey my command at all times. Protect yourself at all times. And think from here on up is good. Here on up is good. Touch gloves. Good luck to you.
Alan Huggins, the man in the middle. Yoenli Hernandez looking to keep his KO streak alive. Ruiz looking to shock the world and change his fortunes. Round 1 scheduled for 10 at 160 pounds. And Hernandez spent time in camp with his Cuban compatriot, David Morrell, who of course will be headlining his first pay-per-view here in Las Vegas in that battle of undefeated light heavyweights coming up later tonight in a bona fide grudge match against David Benavidez. But already, Hernandez showcasing his skills. Nice, oh, good body shots.
Pick it up. Ruiz told us this week in the fighter meetings he believes he has an opening early in this fight to get off big with his jab. He believes Hernandez is a counterpuncher who at times doesn't throw enough punches. Let's see if Ruiz can establish an early pace.
Very much like Morrell, Sugar Hill, we have Hernandez, who has that extensive Cuban amateur pedigree, but a professional approach that emphasizes both offensive prowess and defensive acumen, level changes, and he is looking again to keep that KO streak alive, and I know you love fighters like that.
Yeah, I like technical fighters. I like fighters that really have a game plan to, you know, get a knockout and try to hurt somebody. I mean, that's what the fight game is about. It's about hurting somebody.
Oh, and Ruiz looking to hurt the body with that step over left hook.
A lot of creativity early from Hernandez. You see him switching stances, not afraid to square up when he has Ruiz against the ropes.
Ruiz fighting out of the southpaw stance as well, laboring on the ropes. Now Hernandez picking him apart, curling those punches around the high guard. Exchange uppercuts, mostly blocked. But it's Hernandez putting the pressure on Ruiz, throwing every punch with bad intentions. Measuring him. Oh, nice clubbing jab there. Goes to the body. Nice level change here by Hernandez, Sugar Hill.
Yeah, Hernandez has got some. He's got some good power. I can see why he's knocking everybody out. And the shots that he's he's placing on Ruiz are. I mean, these shots are slowing Ruiz down a lot. He's going into more of a defensive mode than even punching now.
Ruiz from Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico, the hometown of Julio Cesar Chavez. Perhaps Mexico's greatest fighter of all time, holds records for the most total successful defenses of titles, has been in more championship fights than anyone else. Brian, and Hernandez, well, he's looking to get into that championship conversation despite this only being his 7th pro outing.
Well, you mentioned Ruiz from the same hometown as the Mexican legend. Hernandez, despite being from Cuba, has developed a good friendship and relationship with Canelo Alvarez, first as a sparring partner, and he credits him with influencing him on daring to be great.
On the belt. Watch back in the head.
Quick!
Time!
And if we need the services of a Spanish translator, 3-division champion Abner Mares will join us live on pay-per-view. As an analyst, will be serving as a translator.
Keep doing what he's doing.
Can you translate that, Abner?
But just be careful when he pulls back. All right? With the hands up. You spit, whatever. Spit. Hey, here we go. Okay. Okay, listen. Jab, derecha, bow, swing al hombro. Okay? All right? Buen trabajo. Keep doing what he's doing. Keep doing what you're doing. All right? You're doing a good job. Buen trabajo. Respira. Good job.
Ostentatious opening round for Yoenli Hernandez. Landing 56% of his power punches, 52% of his total punches. That's a pretty good clip.
So much for that slow start Ruiz was expecting from his opponent.
I was listening to the corner of Hernandez, and there was really nothing they could say. They were just like, yeah, you're doing good.
But you know what was even better? That left uppercut he just snuck in on the inside. And now going to the body, attacking both flanks, missing with that sweeping right hook upstairs.
See that trunk move from Hernandez to avoid punches. You can tell he's a very good athlete and starting to really gain that experience here as a professional through 6 pro fights.
Was a 2-time gold medalist at the World Amateur Championships in 21 and 23. He defected during a stopover in Panama and eventually resettled in the United States. He's coming off his longest fight to date. That ended in the 8th round against the previously unbeaten Bryce Henry. So despite the lack of fights, he is beginning to accumulate the all-important experience, Sugar Hill, second by second inside that theater of truth known as the boxing ring.
Yeah, and this is what you know, with his amateur background and also being in camp with, you know, Canelo Alvarez. He's building up the experience every day, and it's showing right now with his patience and the way he's picking these punches. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying these little uppercuts like that one there.
Beautiful craftsmanship on display, Brian, with his punch placement and just his delivery system in general.
And he's luring Ruiz in with those feints and countering powerfully from close range so far.
More muted offense here in the second round. Less than a minute remaining in the second stanza. The southpaw Ruiz missing with that lead left. There's a feint and the combination by Hernandez, splitting the high guard of Ruiz. And anytime you say no, it probably means yes. Another clubbing right hand from Hernandez, now walking down Ruiz. Ruiz trying to hold his ground. You know, anyone from Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico, the hometown of Julio Cesar Chavez, is going to try to hold his ground.
You better have a beard from that town. Ruiz taking these power shots well, but he's yet to really gain the respect from Hernandez, who is all over him against the ropes.
Listen, Ruiz doesn't have an answer for this uppercut. I mean, it's mainly because the way his defensive stance is. He's open for that uppercut all day. And Hernandez is just, you know, popping him with every chance he gets.
Three-punch combination from Ruiz, letting Hernandez know that he's still here. Oh, there's a left as the second round comes to a conclusion.
Good job.
Okay.
You're saying in the center it's long. 2-3 punches. Left, right. Tell him
stay
when he comes in, start
Sugar Hill, let's take a
feeding
look
first.
at those combinations that Hernandez put together in the last round. And what technically impressed you the most about this?
You know, what I'm looking at is Hernandez, the way when he moves to the inside close to Ruiz, he's positioning himself to make a slight move along with his shift to throw the punch. He doesn't just walk straight in and try to throw uppercuts. He puts himself in a position and he slides right over into the punch, which gives him a clean lane for clean uppercuts. And he's landing those uppercuts very, very frequently. Now, I don't think it's doing Ruiz any good.
And that last combination, just like the Loonies, he had 5 on it. Round number 3. Talk to me after the show. As Hernandez now continues to try to establish the jab, Ruiz backing up, so already the pressure beginning to have an effect. And this is round 3 scheduled for 10. And Ruiz on his bike, backing up to the ropes, trying to avoid the offensive onslaught, the crushing combinations of Hernandez.
Hernandez is both the aggressor and the counterpuncher here.
Oh!
You see Ruiz swinging for the fences. He's got to try something to break the rhythm of his opponent.
In Ruiz's last victory, he sent former welterweight titleist Luis Collazo into retirement via 6th round KO via body shot, a right uppercut to the midsection in April of 2023. But now he's in tough along the ropes, the uppercuts from Hernandez, causing him a lot of consternation.
You see Hernandez.
Oh, and that uppercut jacked him up.
He's throwing a good body shot, and then he's finishing up with an uppercut up the middle, just round the outside, back up the middle.
Man, he does have a beard from Culiacan because he's taken some vicious uppercuts from Hernandez.
No doubt about it. He's really threatening to test this knockout streak for Yoenli Hernandez, who Yoenli told us coming in, he very much expects to continue that 6-0 with 6 KOs, and right now he's got Ruiz once again pinned to the ropes.
The one thing we've seen on tape when it comes to Ruiz, does overextend his punches, susceptible to counters. And that was seen in his first defeat against another lefty, Javier Flores, who just erased him with a vicious counter right hook to the jaw.
Well, Ruiz admitted to us that his time as a junior middleweight, he put too much power on his shots. It would take away his stamina in the later rounds. He's trying to be more judicious, work behind a jab. He's just getting swallowed up by the offense of Hernandez.
Final minute of round 3. Can Ruiz see that bell? He's getting his face hit viciously by Hernandez.
Outside, inside, outside, inside. Same pattern. Why change?
Ruiz has been down once, resulting in the lone stoppage loss in the first spell of his career. We talked about it against Javier Flores. Hanging tough with Hernandez, but how much more can the chin take? How much more punch resistance does Ruiz have? Final 15 seconds of the 3rd round. It's all Yoenli Hernandez, but Ruiz valiantly trying to find a way to crack the armor of Hernandez. Instead, he's getting cracked authoritatively.
How do you feel? You okay?
Okay.
Oh, he's heavy, he said. He's heavy because you're right in front of him. I'm letting him shoot so he get tired out. No, 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 no. Don't do that.
Okay. He's answering questions and stuff.
Take a step back. Just a little step back. Create that gap.
Make sure you protect yourself, okay? Show me something, okay?
No, he don't.
Okay.
No, I will tell you.
All right. Hey, wait. Tranquilito.
Relax.
He's good.
Don't throw it upstairs. Throw it right in the chin, right in between the gloves. And then move.
I need those uppercuts and a hook.
Middleweight division, one of the most storied in boxing history, the likes of Curmel Zone, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Bernard Hopkins, and right now a division in state of flux. We've got the undefeated Jonabek, Alim Kanuli, easy for me to say, but then again, try saying Mauro Domenico Antonio Ronaldo 5 times fast. We got Carlos Adames and Erislandy Lara, and yeah, Hernandez is knocking on the door of a title shot while trying to knock out Ruiz.
With respect to Janabek, this is a division that is looking for a singular face. Hernandez has shown us a lot through 6 pro fights and matching himself tough, just like David Morrell early in his career.
Yeah, third fight, Lennox Allen, undefeated, a lot of experience, and Morrell just dominated him. And Hernandez doing the same here. Adjustments that you would like to see Ruiz make, Sugar Hill, to try to get back into this fight, despite being a prohibitive underdog.
Listen, it's funny you mentioned that because I wanted to say that Ruiz's corner is doing a great job. I just heard Ruiz tell his corner, I'm trying to get him tired. I'm trying to wait for him to get tired. And his corner's like, no. I mean, I don't know where he gets this game plan. It's not going to last all night if that's his game plan. But his corner's trying to get him back into the fight. Throw punches.
And Ruiz smothering the offense. And Brian, he's giving Hernandez that opportunity to place the punches and stay in the danger zone, really unfettered.
Yeah, I'd like to see Ruiz establish a jab at some point.
That's exactly what the key was.
Basic point to keep Hernandez off of him. Hernandez so creative in the clinch there with those uppercuts. He's got good movement on his hooks from different angles.
Hernandez unleashing another combination, pinning Ruiz to the ropes, uppercuts, hooks, another sweeping hook, trying to send Ruiz down to the canvas, trying to send him to the second knockout loss of his career, but Ruiz continues to stand, tries to punch back, but Hernandez, every shot aims to hurt Ruiz, Sugar Hill.
Listen, Ruiz is doing good at some points. You can see when he started jabbing, he's effective and he slows down Hernandez. The only problem is Hernandez is a great counterpuncher. And he starts jabbing and throwing punches and he's getting caught clean, but he's getting caught just as clean as he is when he's standing there trying to block punches.
Ruiz now bleeding from the mouth, kicks his jaw jacked again by the uppercuts. Level change by Ruiz, trying to go to the body. High guard by Hernandez.
This has been becoming, at the very least, a phone booth fight along the ropes. Not a situation where Ruiz has much room to get off of his shots. You see him smothered by the power shots of Hernandez.
I'm sitting here falling in love with Hernandez's head movement and the way he shifts his body.
Hernandez as we come to the end of round number 4. And coming up live on pay-per-view, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, it is a family affair for Isaac Pitbull Cruz. His family has seen the toughest of times. And then after knocking out Rolando Romero, becoming a 140-pound champion, well, he tasted defeat in his last fight, but he says it's all about styles making fights, and this Mexican fan favorite looks to bounce back in scintillating fashion against compatriot Angel Fierro. Isaac Cruz is seeking a rematch with Gervonta Davis. He wants to fight the likes of Ryan Garcia, but he knows his focus has to be on Angel Fierro because this one has the hallmarks of not only fight of the night, but fight of the year. And at stake is not a traditional championship, but a commemorative Aztec warrior title honoring the legendary Mexican rivalries. And tonight we honor one of the most legendary of all Mexican fighters, our fallen comrade Israel Vasquez, who lost his battle with cancer last year at the age of 46. Round number 5, scheduled for 10 at 160.
Close on that, Mo, when you have the type of fan base in the Mexican crowd that Cruz brings, you don't need a championship belt, okay? They respect his style and his attitude, and we're certainly looking forward to that fight later tonight.
And Ruiz starting to respect the jab, and I'm sure he's already respecting the power of Hernandez. And while the stats don't tell the entire story, when you look at the numbers, it's, well, it's like a Harlem Globetrotters Washington General score right now in the stats department there, Brian Campbell.
One punch can certainly change the momentum. It's just, can Ruiz find that?
And that combination splitting the high guard of Ruiz. That high guard is leaky.
Yeah, the high guard is it's a hole up the middle, and it's a hole up the middle, and there's 2 holes on each side too. So Hernandez is hitting all those spots.
He is, and that is it. Referee Huggins has seen enough once. Angel Ruiz to survived to fight another day, and Yoenli Hernandez moves to 7-0, 7 consecutive knockouts. It wasn't the highlight reel finish. Do you agree with the stoppage?
I definitely have to agree with the stoppage. I think it's a good stoppage. There's no need for him to go in there and get hurt. He's taken a lot of punishment, a lot of big shots, and it wasn't going to change.
Campbell?
Felt a little bit early to me. It didn't seem like he was in trouble. I understand the accumulation of punches he's been taking, but he was looking to continue to bring the fight to Hernandez. Referee saw what he saw ultimately in the end. What it doesn't take away from, however, is a complete performance from Hernandez, who extends that knockout streak to 7-0 with 7 KOs to kick off his young pro career.
And this is how Hernandez closed the show here in Las Vegas.
You can see how Hernandez shifts into these punches here. He shifts into the left, throws a body shot, shifts back over to the right side, and throws a right uppercut.
As we begin the shortest month of the year, it was another short night for Hernandez. The KO streak remains alive. Anything you would like to see him improve? There's always room for improvement, right, Sugar Hill?
Yeah, the only thing he could have done more was probably jab, but I don't think he needed the jab in this fight here. He was just right there, like hitting the heavy bag.
What's your biggest takeaway, Brian?
I just love the attitude of Hernandez. He's representing a new generation of Cuban fighters who bring the fight in the ring, bring the fight in the matchmaking. And as you can see, the respect between the two pugilists right there. But Hernandez is certainly someone to watch in this division. And as we talk about a little bit of some restructuring, reorganizing going at 160 pounds, there's an opening for someone to certainly grab that reign and momentum and establish themselves. Look out for Hernandez.
Let's make it official with Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Alan Huggins called the stop to this contest at 1 minute and 6 seconds of round number 5. For your winner by TKO and still undefeated, Yoenli Feliciano Hernandez.
Just 7-0, but all 7 wins via KO. And when you've got the skills of a Yoenli Hernandez, Brian Custer, you get passage on the fast track in boxing.
Especially when you've got that knockout power that he has, and he's unbeaten all by stoppages. As we're in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, just east off of the Strip, here at T-Mobile Arena. Listen, if you want to purchase the pay-per-view that comes your way, all you've got to do is hit that QR code right there. Use your phone on the screen, and you too can purchase the pay-per-view fight card. 4 fights coming your way, which could be one of the best fight cards that we've seen this year. Back here with the Hall of Famer Joe Goosen. You know, you look at Yoenli Hernandez, and you said good stoppage. In fact, you said I thought they should have stopped that fight maybe a round
before.
Yeah,
absolutely. Look, the handwriting was on the wall. All you had to do was look at that Bryce Henry fight that he had, who was 7-0 at the time. Bryce Henry didn't have a chance to respond. This guy is on you like a blanket. He just is relentless. He's got every angle in the book. He's got inside short uppercuts. He'll turn you. He goes right-handed, left-handed. He's built like a middle linebacker.
Yes, he is.
He'll bump you off of him, and then he'll chop you with something. He's just, you heard the other fighters say, he's too heavy. He's too heavy in every respect. I think we got a couple replays.
Yeah,
so let's see what we got.
Let's take a look at some of the work here. You talked about the uppercuts, and boy, he certainly did work. I thought it was interesting that Ruiz said, you know, I'm gonna use the first 4 rounds and move. He didn't.
And look at the angles. There is no escape route with him. Okay, that's all. Those are all short, sharp, hard shot. Look at that left uppercut. But he's going to make a turn, I'm sure, sooner or later. But he's got Ruiz boxed in here. But the bottom line is that Yoenli is just relentless, and he's got every tool in the toolbox. And he's strong. He's fast. He could fight for a title tomorrow against just about anybody. I really love this guy, and he's dangerous. Wow, what a prospect for only, what, 7 fights now?
Absolutely.
Incredible.
7 fights, all 7 coming by knockout, and he's in a division that is just fiending for someone to be one face when you talk about.
I'm staying away from this guy if I've got a middleweight. I'm staying away from this guy for sure.
By the way, coming your way on pay-per-view, you will see Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and right now he's with our Jordan Plant. Jordan?
Thanks, Brian. Martine Batzer will translate for us. Isaac, you've had a pretty intense fight week and big stare downs. Where's that animosity coming from with your opponent?
Ha sido una semana intensa, Isaac, con muchas palabras, con muchos careos. ¿Cómo ha sido esta semana para vos? ¿Qué significa para vos el estar acá?
Bueno, es algo normal, una rivalidad muy grande deportiva y bueno, venimos muy bien enfocados, concentrados para dar una gran pelea y que la gente sea la ganadora.
Well, you know, it has become into this really big rivalry, but we are here focused, ready to go, and we want the fans to be the real winners of the night.
This week, you told us in fighter meetings that this fight in this training camp carries a lot more weight. Why do you say that?
¿Por qué nos contabas más temprano esta semana que esta pelea tiene más significado, más peso que otras anteriores para vos?
Porque sabemos lo que se está jugando de por medio, que sabemos lo que conlleva una pelea perdida a como puede llevar una pelea ganada.
Because we know what's at stake. There's a big difference between me getting a win tonight and getting a loss tonight. So, you know, there's really a lot at stake and I can't take anything for granted.
Knowing what's at stake, do you plan on changing any of your style or have you made any changes since your last fight to prevent that loss from happening again?
¿Hiciste algún ajuste en cuanto a tu estilo y a tu manera de pelear para prevenir otra derrota?
Sí, totalmente. Ahora sí que trabajamos en lo bueno y en lo malo y seguimos fortaleciendo los puntos malos y bueno, ampliando el equipo más y venimos muy bien preparados.
Absolutely. We have sharpened our weaknesses. We have become even stronger with our strengths. I have a great team with me and we are better than ever for this fight.
You're always a crowd favorite. The fans love you. What can they expect to see from you tonight?
La gente te ama, sos un ídolo tanto de los mexicanos como de los ídolos del boxeo. Entonces, ¿qué puede esperar la gente para esta pelea?
Yo solo me vengo a entregar a la gente, vengo a desquitar cada esfuerzo que hace la gente por un pago por evento o por comprar un ticket y yo vengo a dar lo mejor de mí en esta noche y así como Las Vegas me vio coronarme campeón del mundo, ahora me va a ver levantar.
People make a big effort with their money to pay for the pay-per-view, to pay for a ticket. So my job is to make them happy and to make their money's worth for this fight. And just like I came to Las Vegas to be a world champion, now I'm back in Las Vegas to redeem myself and be back in world title contention.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Thank you, Isaac, for your time. You always put on a great show. We'll see you in the ring later tonight. Brian, back to you.
Okay, Jordan, thank you very much. So we'll see Isaac Pitbull against Angel Fierro. I thought it was interesting. He said we've tightened up our weaknesses. Yeah. And if you go back to when he just lost his title about, 4 or 5 months ago against Rayo, you saw this was a guy who was always throwing those looping shots, looking for the big, never really jabbed his way in. What are some of those things you would like to see him tighten up?
Well, Rayo's a southpaw. It's always difficult to jab against a southpaw when you're half his size, number one. And he was on the move going backwards. So, you know, it's a tall order to jab against that situation. That being said, look, every fight should teach you something. It could be something very inconsequential, possibly to somebody else, but to you it's something that really needs to be adjusted. So there's a lot of, you know, tweaking that you do after a fight. You go, man, that fight taught me more than 6 months of sparring. You know, that happens all the time. So look, it could be anything from shortening up his punches when he's in close, going for different punches, maybe a little bit more head movement. It's hard to say, but against his opponent here, Fierro, it's going to be totally opposite of what he did against Rayo, okay? He's going to have a guy that's coming right at him. Rayo backed up, he's very tall, difficult fight, different fight, southpaw. But in this particular fight here, he's not going to have to look for anybody. I think what he needs to do is keep his deep 6 inches and a half on the reach. But again, Cruz is used to that, okay? He's used to tall guys with longer reach. But Fierro is probably not going to use that reach advantage. He wants to go and attack. I've watched film on him. He's got 18 knockouts, just the same as Cruz, 18 knockouts. These guys are knockout punches. They don't get that by giving up ground. They go take ground.
Is it just as simple as Pitbull's style is what endears him to people, because you see this popularity and it continues. Even with a loss, it seems to increase with every fight.
Well, because he got you know, one of the judges didn't vote for Rayo in that, voted Cruz's way. So, you know, one of the judges had him, I want to say, ahead. And so, but the thing is that's the style. But people want to see action. They don't want to see lulls and breaks in the action. They want to see a full-on fight. That's why the guys that fight like that make the big paydays, you know? That's why Tyson was so appealing. That's why Cruz is appealing. That's why Chavez was appealing. Guys that go, that's why Hernandez, who we just saw, is appealing. They go after you. Curmel, we saw the young kid, he'll go after you. I love that type of fight, and so do the fans.
You know, it's interesting you say that, because at one point, that's what they were calling Pitbull Cruz, the mini Mike Tyson. Because you look at his build and the short neck and the way he comes forward there. To talk about a little bit real quickly on Angel Fierro, because there may be a lot of people, maybe their first time seeing Fierro tonight. But as you talk about in your film study and looking at this guy, hey, look, this guy's he can punch, and he's just like Pitbull, all action.
That's right. He's actually has a higher knockout percentage than Cruz. He's got less fights and the same amount of knockouts, 18 and 18. So, no, and he looks in great shape. You know, when you get the call to fight on a big card like this, you're going to train harder than ever. Your coaches are going to be more motivated. You're going to have extra money to bring in the good sparring. All of that, you know, has a bearing on the performance here, and I think Fierro's has all those things in line. He's going to be in great shape for this fight. He knows what a win will do for him.
Right.
It puts him on top.
That's what he said. He said, hey, a win for me puts me on the national scene, just like Pitbull did when he fought Tank Davis. Let's go down ringside to the guys, of course, will be calling all of the action. Hello, Morrell Ronaldo.
Hello there, Mr. Custer. Hello there. We have OGs, but tonight we got Joe G joining you up there. And always great stuff from the Hall of Famer. And I'm, of course, joined by Brian Campbell and Sugar Hill Stewart. And guys, just to continue the conversation, when you look at this weight class, 140 pounds, a lot of big money matchups here, and at 135, where Cruz has been before, a lot of people feel that might be his best weight. But tonight, he will take on Angel Fierro at 140 pounds. For Fierro, not only is he facing one of Mexico's favorite fighters here under the bright lights of Las Vegas, but it's the first time that he's fought in the fight capital of the world. First championship caliber opponent, a reason he's the underdog, but someone somewhere is collecting a lot of money. The first person to say styles make fights. But tonight, that will be proven.
Well, sometimes attitude make fights, and if you followed Fierro's career at all, he's got what they call huevos, right? Anytime, any place. I was there in Puerto Rico a few years back, where on 6 days' notice he came in there against Alberto Machado, the former champion, got off the deck twice, delivered the rally, the upset knockout. He's done it before. He plans on doing it again against Pitbull Cruz, so we can say first time in LA, the lights are bright. But this is a fighter who comes from the hardscrabble streets of Tijuana. He's long been mentored by El Terrible himself, Eric Morales. He's born for this. Does he have the skills to beat Cruz? That's another question, but he does have the punching power, and as Joe said, with that long reach advantage, you never know. But is it a reach advantage if you don't use it? That's the real question right here.
Sugar Hill, we got Cruz, who we saw in his last fight, defending the title against Jose Valenzuela, unable to make the adjustments against a slick boxer, a guy who brings that technique and class. And while some critics have said, well, Cruz is a one-trick pony, I mean, it served him very well. A guy who, for the first time in 21 fights, went the distance with none other than Gervonta Davis. Yeah, we know he hurt his left hand, but for Esau Cruz, what are adjustments? What would you like? What wrinkles would you like to see him add, despite the fact we're selling this all-Mexican, all-action affair? What techniques would you like to see him bolster his resume with?
You know what? I'm really excited about, I went to the weigh-ins and I saw the intensity, I saw like the fire in Fierro, and I mean, Cruz is who he is, we know who he is, but Fierro just showed that fire, and his last fight maybe not looking so good, but I mean, the fire he has now, I think he's learned some things, and he's really up for this fight. I don't think, you know, it's gonna matter with these two guys, Fierro not being fighting in the fight capital, and all of that. He's really intense for this fight. This is his big chance. It's actually both fighters' big chance, because we're on this big stage now, and both fighters just have to step up. And I just think that Fierro just had so much energy. I'm really eager to see him fight and let that energy go against Pitbull Cruz. Another exciting fighter just to make it a greater fight.
Well, Brian Custer, this fight is so anticipated that the WBC went ahead and created a commemorative championship, the Aztec Warrior Belt, to honor the great all-Mexican rivalries. Carlos Zarate, Alfonso Zamora, Israel Vasquez, Rafael Marquez, Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, and, well, Isaac Cruz, Angel Fierro. They will have the distinction, the winner, of receiving the first Aztec Warrior belt, as we will also honor the memory and the legacy of one of Mexico's all-time great action fighters, the late Israel Vasquez.
Amen. Thank you very much, Morrell. Let's take a look at the entire fight card that'll come your way. The PBC on pay-per-view. Again, at the top of the card, David Benavidez, David Morrell, two unbeaten, dangerous fighters. We'll start the night with Jesus Ramos and Jason Rosario. And listen, we've talked a lot about Isaac Cruz, Angel Fierro. Really quick, Joe Goosen, when you look at the entire fight card, give me one fight that stands out to you. You say, ooh, I can't wait to see that.
That's really a tall order. I want to see all of them, but I got to tell you, I think the rematch between Figueroa and Fulton is going to be an outstanding fight. I've never seen Brandon Figueroa look in the shape that he is right now. And Stephen Fulton is a tricky, crafty veteran. He's really slick. He does well on the inside or outside. Brandon Figueroa, I think, should stay where he really belongs, and that's on the inside. If he can force his will and the pressure on Fulton, he's got a great chance of winning this fight, but it's a toss-up.
Talking about a toss-up, how about the main event? David Benavidez, David Morrell. Take a look, the inside of their camps. It is episode 1 of Gloves Off.
Let's get speed, let's get sleep.
Have you guys faced off yet so far in anything? You haven't. This is the first time? Okay.
This is something new. I don't think we've ever done a face-off like this before, so it's good. I'm excited.
Boxing thrives on rivalry. Without it, the sport fades.
¿Estás viendo cuando te noquea también o qué? ¿Ya? Vamos a ver, vamos a ver, vamos a ver, vamos a ver, vamos a ver.
But every so often, a showdown offers more than just competition.
I want to see it. I want to see him break it. Come on, I'm going to break it. Watch. Oh, you want to do something?
It delivers a defining moment that can alter the boxing landscape.
You think you're scary? Who the f you think you are? Shut the f up, man.
On February 1st, David Benavidez and David Morrell will step into the ring with more than just undefeated records.
I want to take it personal with me, so I'm personally going to break his mouth.
More than just animosity.
Shut the f up. Right now, bro. Right.
They carry the future of the light heavyweight division. No pressure.
This fight is crazy. This is basically a grudge match. He doesn't like me and I don't like him.
This isn't just a clash of champions.
Yes, yeah, I'm focused like in David Benavidez 100%.
It's a battle to prove who deserves to challenge for the crown.
Benavidez unloading. Morrell looking for the fifth.
First delivers a loaded fight card. Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton reignite their rivalry in a featherweight rematch.
There's a left hook.
To settle unfinished business.
I've been hungry ever since I lost. People be forgetting who I am. I gotta just...
Or houses.
The knockdown, courtesy that left hook.
I'm coming to knock him out. You know, that's the way his business goes.
Man, you're stupid.
I'm gonna beat the f out of you.
But February 1st is about something deeper, more consequential.
I can't wait for this one. Benavidez unloading.
It's about defining.
It's all Morrell.
Two undefeated champions.
Who truly stands above the rest.
Someone's it's got to go.
I don't even think he's gonna fight after this fight. He's probably gonna retire because I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna beat the out of him. I'm gonna make an example out of him for the rest of the light heavyweight division to see that I'm not playing with nobody.
Boxing superstardom is reserved for those who possess a unique blend of gifts. It begins with charisma that demands attention, even through a television screen. Add to that an instinct for combat that borders on the supernatural, and you get fighters like David Benavidez. He embodies these qualities with a mesmerizing intensity.
Benavidez unloading with blistering combination.
But it is his power, raw, unrelenting, and among the most devastating in the sport, that truly sets him apart and has earned him a legion of loyal fans.
I read a lot of messages that people send me, and there's people be like, you know what, bro, you're an inspiration to me. You motivate me a lot. That's really what keeps my engine going. I can't let these people down, and I won't let these people down. I definitely do it for the fans. I don't think the fans know how much they mean to me. They're not even my fans. I feel like they're my family. This fight, I do feel more motivated because this is a fight that everybody wants to see. I'm just going harder. I could have picked an easier fighter. I could have went the easy route, but I don't want to do that. A lot of people said I'd been ducking David Morrell and I don't want to fight David Morrell, so now I get to shut those people up as well. Now we're going to get the people what they want to see.
At just 28 years old, Benavidez has spent half his life perfecting his craft. In that time, he has defied expectations, transforming from an overweight teenager into a champion with dreams of becoming a pay-per-view king.
That's a sign that we're moving up in life. When you make the Louis bag your gym bag, come on, do exactly what I say I'm gonna do. As much as people try to discredit me and say, oh, he's fat, he's not gonna do this, he's not gonna do that, this guy's gonna beat him, he's gonna outbox him, I go in there and I'm still taking everybody apart. So I'm very happy with the way I'm doing and the way everything is going because I can't be stopped. Honestly, I can't be stopped.
His ambition has always outpaced his circumstances, making him a star attraction. But his upcoming opponent, David Morrell, won't stand in the shadows or be a stepping stone in the rise of the Mexican monster. When two fighters with this level of determination clash, it's a powder keg waiting to ignite, as seen in a volatile afternoon press event in Miami.
David Morrell, he kind of bit off a little bit more than he could chew because, you know, obviously he'd been calling for that fight, but I don't think they thought I was going to take it so soon. I want to let him know that he's in, you know, for a hell of a ride, and I'm going in there, I'm going to make him as uncomfortable as possible.
David, el Monstro, Benavidez.
When David Morrell sees me over him while he's out on the floor, unconscious later.
En California no lo hiciste. Yo ando solo, papi. Yo ando solo. Yo ando solo. Vas a ver, pendejo. Vas a ver, pendejo.
I'm not playing. We're gonna bring it to him, and we're gonna shut his ass up. I'm going in there, and I'm fighting for my life, and he's trying to take everything from me.
I'm gonna be waiting. I'm gonna be waiting. Ya está bien, ya está bien, ya está bien.
So when I look at David Morrell, I'm thinking, David Morrell, his team, his dog, his cat, everybody over there. My main job is to beat the out of him, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
The Mexican monster, you know, everything's fake. Como diríamos en Cuba, es un pollito. Benavidez is not saying the myself. A Benavidez lo hubiésemos quitado la merienda en Cuba, si siempre soy un gordito, ¿qué? I don't want to say like soy un, ¿cómo se diría? Poderosito así o alguna cosa así. But I mean, man, it's different. Esa hambre que tenemos nosotros los cubanos, me atrevo a decir que pocos la tienen. Benavidez cuando aprenda lo que es ver a su mamá que no pueda comer para darte la comida a ti, ahí yo te digo, ¿entiendes? Él no sabe, o sea.
I'm back. What's that, champ?
I'm waiting for this fight for a long time. I mean, you know, right now it's like, it's more serious. Before the press conference, I cheer, but right now, no. Now, like, I'm really, man, I'm really angry. So, you know, I respect him, I respect me, it's okay, no worry. February 1st, you see what happened inside the ring.
The undefeated.
David Morrell Jr. has little patience for tough talk.
Oh my goodness. Down goes Cazares, flat on his back.
He's built his stardom on making statements inside the ring.
Sharp with both hands, quick on his feet.
I mean, he looks like a star, he acts like a star, he fights like a star.
For years, he's heard Benavidez talk of being ducked by a certain big-name opponent, of being seen as a risk, not worth the reward. For Morrell, that kind of talk hits frustratingly close to home.
I've been asking for Benavidez for too much time. Every time Benavidez after the fight say, okay, I'm the boogeyman, everybody know, nobody want to fight me. So say, bro, what do you say down here?
David Morrell looking for a big performance here tonight.
3 fights to go in Vegas, where the co-event, the Tank, Ryan.
A first round knockout for David Morrell Jr.
Que ellos estaban en la arena.
And keep saying all this. Shut the fuck up, bro. We are the ones that want to get that fight, man. We've been asking for that fight.
But hey, shut up, you know, bro. You're the king. Coming for you. Boom. Get out here.
Now, the fight David Morrell Jr. has been waiting for is finally here. He's got the opponent, the spotlight, and the opportunity to prove he belongs at the top.
I got everything. You know, fast, power, defense, attack, legs, move. So I got everything, you know what I mean? Benavidez can't dance, you know? So only for this, you see the movie, the Robocop, right? You know? It's the same. Todo lo que no tiene ritmo y coordinación. Me, you know, I got it. Dime lo que quieras, mira que te voy a decir. Oye, Benavidez, yo te voy a partir. En febrero, mira, tú lo tienes que admitir. Llega el Junior, es que te va a hacer sufrir. Dime lo que quieras, que yo voy así. Porque en esta vuelta yo estoy aquí, el número 1, el BBC. Abre mi manica, fuck you, baby.
Reporters can't approach ya, your teammates wanna roast ya, kitty for the culture.
Of your screen, you can purchase the pay-per-view event, and it comes your way, well, let's just say around the top of the hour, 5 o'clock Las Vegas time. That will be 8 o'clock Eastern. It's time now for the main event fights here on the Prime Video. For that, let's go ringside. Here is Morrell Ronaldo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Custer. Yeah, we are set for action in the featherweight division. That's 126 pounds, scheduled for 10 rounds, and it will feature the undefeated Mirco Cuello, the 24-year-old who's 14-0 with 11 knockouts. He takes on Christian Olivo, a 25-year-old who's 22-1-1 with only 9 KOs. Let's go to ring announcer Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue the action here with our PBC on Prime Video Prelims. Once again, it is all brought to you by Samson Boxing, Warriors Boxing, TGB Promotions, and Mayweather Promotions. Sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. El Mexicano brand products, bringing authentic sabor to your table. Somos El Mexicano. And by the film Last Breath, Make Every Breath Count, starring Woody Harrelson, only in theaters February 28th. And now the 3 judges ringside are Max DeLuca, David Sutherland, and Zachary Young. The referee in charge of the action is Chris Flores. And now Premier Boxing Champions present 10 rounds, and it is a WBA Featherweight World Title Eliminator. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing the black trunks, he weighed in at 125.6 pounds. His record stands 22 victories, 9 by knockout, opposite of 1 defeat and 1 draw. Representing Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico, here is Christian Olivo. And now introducing his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with the Argentine trim. He weighed in at 125.6 pounds. His record, a perfect one, 14 victories, 11 by knockout, no defeats. Representing Arroyo Seco, Santa Fe, Argentina, he is an Argentine Olympian Mirco Cuello.
Second, fighter chief second. Ok, caballeros, ya le dieron las reglas. Quiero una pelea limpia. Aquí está la línea aquí y aquí el mismo línea, ok? Todos los guantes.
Chris Flores has been assigned the task of overseeing this 10-rounder, contested at 126 pounds. The undefeated Mirco Cuello taking on the experienced Christian Olivo. Big experience edge for Olivo. This is his 118th round as a pro. For Cuello, it's just his 51st. But Cuello, who is, he has designs on facing the likes of the winner of our featherweight title fight coming up on pay-per-view, when Brandon Figueroa looks to avenge an earlier loss to Stephen Fulton by putting his featherweight strap on the line. But first things first, Cuello needs to navigate the waters that is Christian Kiki Olivo.
Well, Cuello's a fun and interesting addition to this division in a short time coming out of the Olympics in 2020 for Argentina. He's shown an aggressive style, power in both hands, and a confidence that he's ready for some big things ahead.
And Sugar Hill Olivo's facing his 4th undefeated opponent in his last 5 fights, and you see him eat a combination from Cuello. But as the more experienced fighter, what do you expect from Olivo in the early going, Sugar Hill?
Well, I like the way both the fighters are using the jabs. They're starting off trying to get different tempos and trying to understand the rhythms of each other. And then they work into the body. So I think that Olivo needs to work his jab a little bit more. But what I'm seeing right now is that Cuello's jab is a lot more effective and a lot more strong, and is allowing him to throw more effective punches right now.
Olivo putting together combinations. He's riding a 2-fight win streak, with his most recent victory coming last September when he scored a 4th round TKO. Cuello, this is his longest layoff ever. He's been out of action for 309 days, but again, he's the one that all of the pundits and all of the hardcore fans are keeping their eye on, thinking that he may be the future at 126, a division, of course, that has a lot of interesting names toiling in it right now, Brian.
Indeed, and maybe, just maybe, another one in the future when we're talking about one of the pound-for-pound best in Iowa, Inoue. Fun division as always at 126. Cuello must get through the experience and the test here from Olivo.
And right now, really no definitive king, as Cuello gets hit with a counter left hook by Olivo, but you've got the likes of Angelo Leo, Nick Ball, Rafael Espinoza, and Brandon Figueroa. You mentioned Leo's name, Morrell. Well, Brian, of course, that's how Fulton became a champion at 122, was by beating Leo. So a lot of opportunities at 126, but it's Cuello and Olivo now putting their wares on display with less than 30 seconds left in the opening round. Nice 4-punch combination by Olivo.
Olivo told us in the fighter meetings this week he plans to be aggressive off the start. There's not going to be a point where he's going to turn the switch on in this fight. He says that switch will be on from the start, but it's been a measured pace to begin with in the early going.
Yeah, both fighters were jabbing great. Olivo still jabbing more to set his punches up, and Cuello was just kind of like looking for these hooks to the body. He actually got caught with a hook, trying to throw a hook from not using his jab as much as he should.
Good opening round for the underdog Olivo.
Mirco, no te me duermas, campeón.
Don't fall asleep, Mirco. Wake up, wake up.
No te duermas ni lo dejes crecer.
Don't sleep and don't let him get girl.
Activa.
Need you more active.
Activa esta, loco. Activa esta.
Activate this. More explosive. 1-2. Combinations.
Well, we heard Cuello's corner talk about a wake-up call. Well, he got it in the form of this hook. The counter left hook upstairs by Olivo. Sugar Hill found its mark.
Yeah, and that's a result of Cuello not jabbing enough again. He started off with a jab, and he started landing some good shots, and then he went to just, I'm gonna throw the good shot, and forgot about the jab.
Olivo threw more punches in that opening round. Cuello landed a couple of more. He definitely is the more accurate of the two fighters after that opening 3 minutes. And Cuello now opening a little stronger, launching a combination off that front foot.
See, he's more effective when he's jabbing, and I think that's what Abner translated from the corner. What he was trying to tell Cuello was to, like, wake up, use the jab more. Wake up, use the jab.
And Brian, Cuello known for that aggressive, high-volume attack. Well, in the opening round, he threw just 52 punches, but landed 22 for a 42% clip, compared to Olivo's 19 of 75 for a 25% clip.
And you can see Cuello targeting that body with the right hand, using his jab to set it up. Goes with the left hook there downstairs.
There's the jab by Olivo, and again, continues to establish it, but the counter combination from Cuello. But it's Olivo putting together early combinations, Sugar Hill.
Yeah, and see, like I said before, look, the fighter that's leading with the jab is the one that's doing the better counter-punching, because it's putting his opponent in a position to just be more defensive. So when you start off with a jab, you can kind of counter because you start getting the timing on how your opponent's reacting.
Good two-way action here in round 2. Good shots landed by Olivo.
And see, that was all started by the jab. He used the jab, made Cuello block.
Drops Cuello! Olivo drops Cuello in round 2. 5, 6, 7. For the first time in his career, Mirco Cuello hits the deck, and the underdog, hate it or love it, he may be on top.
That's a big early wake-up call for Cuello.
And Olivo knows it, Brian. Now he can't get too excited or overcommitted, leaving himself open to counters.
Interesting, despite all the attention on Cuello coming in for his activity, for his power, Olivo told us he doesn't respect Mirco's power.
And Cuello got a big wake-up call here in this round.
Yeah, Olivo's doing what he has to do with the jab. Just there it is again. He's jabbing, he's going to the body. And as he was throwing to the body, Cuello tried to counterpunch him, and he threw the right hand and caught him, just because he doesn't have the timing, because he's not throwing enough punches. He's got to start off with the jab, and you see Olivo's just jabbing, setting everything up.
Cuello now looking to settle it down, establish the jab downstairs and upstairs, hits him with a clubbing right hand. Up top, there's a lead right uppercut, but misses with the left, so Cuello trying to establish his dominance here after going down for the first time in his career here in the second round.
Get your mouthpiece out. Breathe in. Let it out slow.
Urgency in Cuello's corner, and this is why.
Yep, you got Cuello just in a defensive stance, defensive position, and you got Olivo letting his hands go, looking to punch. Looking to punch off the jab. He's punching off the jab, and he caught Cuello just trying to throw a counter punch. Simple as that. Olivo's hands were already moving.
Olivo's really been picking his shots. I like the technique, I like the poise that he's brought to it, and he certainly surprised Cuello with that right hand here in round 2.
I think he surprised everybody, because it's written down that he doesn't have any power. Well, we just saw power. It's the one that you don't see, the one that hurts you.
9 of his 22 wins have come via stoppage, but the early knockdown of the unbeaten Mirco Cuello, the early headline here in this 10-round featherweight attraction to put a capstone on the PBC Prelims on Prime Video. And Cuello now on the attack, but the jab of Olivo keeping Cuello honest.
This is going to be interesting here. Is Cuello going to get a little bit too reckless in trying to gain back that knockdown? What we've seen out of Olivo early is he's very comfortable timing Cuello and countering.
Yeah, he's very comfortable with jabbing and being patient, setting things up, and you have Cuello You know, he's trying to, you can see every punch he throws is like a big punch, so much intensity and so much power on it.
And that takes a lot out of your stamina over time when you fight that frantically with loading up on every shot.
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you're not landing them this solid, it's going to take a lot out of you. But if you're landing them, then okay. If you can keep on doing it, keep on punching. But that's what you train for.
They are standing toe-to-toe, throwing punches in bunches. Olivo splitting the guard with the jab. Cuello has the more eye-catching power, but Olivo, you guys have talked about timing, the adjustments. So, and that is why he has the early knockdown and is in this competitive fight.
Yeah, see, Cuello he just looks so much more controlled and poised, and he can do a lot more damage when he's jabbing. Even when he ducks down, he should throw a jab to the body. He's doing nothing when he ducks down. I would like to see him throw more jabs.
Cuello's almost given up that focus to the body ever since that knockdown. Been more about headhunting and trying to work off that jab.
Past the midway point of the third round. Cuello with the feint, throws a three-punch combination, not much there. Olivo gets tagged with the left from Cuello, but the double jab by Olivo. So Olivo sticking to the basics in the game plan, digging to the body before unleashing a jab upstairs and a left hook. Olivo's confidence growing by the second.
Well, I'll tell you, Olivo didn't come here to be the opponent. He told us in the fighter meetings, bring on the champions in this division. After a win, he says, I want to fight the best. He's got to get through Cuello first, but looking good here in round 3.
He's only lost once. That was a 10-round unanimous decision against Luis Reinaldo Nunes, a highly regarded prospect. That came in April of 2023 in a fight that, well, the stats weren't exactly in favor of who was determined the victor.
Yeah, Cuello, he can do a lot more. I've seen him fight before.
Drop jab.
I've seen him fight before, and what he's doing now, he's coming forward, and he won't take a step back just to even throw the distance off of Olivo.
But Cuello now beginning to find the mark with those ripping left hooks to the body and those little hands.
Good rally here for Cuello.
Good rally to close out the third round. And coming up later, we talk about the featherweight division. It'll be center stage in the co-main event. Brandon Figueroa, 3-0 as a 126-pounder. He is a featherweight belt holder. He is going to defend against Stephen Fulton in a rematch. And moments ago, he was talking to our Jordan Plant.
Brandon, what's it like fighting a guy you faced before? Are you more or less anxious?
I mean, less anxious. You know, we're already familiarized with each other's style. We already know what to expect from each other, and, you know, another fight of the year.
And what about knowing how his power feels, his punches? You know, are you more or less concerned with that?
I mean, we just got to find out. You know, it's a different weight class. I haven't fought him at this weight class, but we're still going with the same game plan and put the pressure on him.
This fight didn't go your way the first time around. Are you going to leave it to the judges this time?
No, definitely not. We prepared 110% for that not to happen, and we're ready.
All right, looking forward to it. Thank you, Brandon. Guys.
Thank you very much, Jordan. I understand our CompuBox tabulators are already inquiring about hazard pay for that fight. The first time they combined for over 1,700 punches, guys. And, well, these two are beginning to amp up the offense as well. And Cuello, for the first time facing adversity, was knocked down for the first time in his career in round 2. And Olivo showcasing the grit and the determination, but ate a combination there from Cuello.
Yeah, good energy here from Cuello. I still feel like he's trying to rush his offense a little bit too much and trying to get that knockdown back, but he's having effects, countering with that left hand and the right cross over the top.
I'm liking Cuello like right at this distance right here. Just take his time, but he got to stay alert. He's getting a little bit relaxed with his legs. He's got to take his time, use his jab, and then he can end up catching Olivo with some nice shots. He's got the power, but he's just being too much dependent on the power.
We just saw the power punches and definitely a close encounter of the featherweight kind here. A very competitive matchup. And again, coming in, the headline was Mirco Cuello, the undefeated Argentine, looking to move one step closer to a title shot with the veteran Christian Olivo. Brian Campbell, you mentioned it. He may be the B-side, but he did not come here just to be another opponent.
If you've never seen him fight before, he's certainly announcing himself as a technician, showing great poise. Still, though, Cuello is the aggressor and bringing the offense to him.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier, how good of a boxer Olivo. We thought he was a very good boxer. He's showing that right now by taking his time. He's fighting a very good fight right now.
And one statistic that Olivo is ahead, knockdowns. Cuello went down for the first time around 2. Olivo's never been knocked down.
Interesting.
So durability, and we've seen him take some flush shots from Cuello, who has lower than he probably would like them to be, Sugar Hill.
Yeah, it's a little bit low, but he's just got to stay busy on the jab. I think Cuello's just out jabbing out, and Cuello has a very stiff jab. It's actually doing damage. He's got Olivo's got a nosebleed. I think it may be just coming from that jab. He's just pounding him with that jab, but he's got to keep staying on it.
And you look at the stats, and when it comes to the jabs, right now Olivo's landed 27 throughout the fight, while Cuello's landed 25, but we are seeing Cuello get busier with the stick. Final 15 seconds of the 4th frame, scheduled for 10 in the 126-pound weight class. Another scoring blow for Olivo. And Cuello lands a comment at the end of the round.
¿Cómo vamos? ¿Cómo vamos? ¿Bien?
How are you feeling? Good?
Saca el bucal, respira profundo, nariz y boca.
Get the mouthpiece out.
Profundo, nariz y boca. Esterilízate. Ya viste. Ya bloqueado. Tenés que responder más. Tenés que tirar más golpes.
You gotta throw more.
Fue un buen round.
Very good round.
Nada más el cierre que te dejaste. Fíjate lo que vamos a
hacer. At the end, you kind of slept there.
All right, Sugar Hill, we're going to revisit some of Olivo's success in this fight where he came in as the underdog.
Oh, what a nice hook, and finished it with a jab. That's like textbook boxing. Start a combination with a jab, you finish it with a jab. Emmanuel used to teach me that all the time, to teach the fighters. Start a combination with a jab, end it with a jab. But he's being so effective, even in and out. He's got little movements in, little movements out. He's not staying as a still target right in Cuello's punching zone.
And it culminated with Cuello going down for the first time. Olivo began boxing at 14, so he's been doing so for more than half of his life, and he's compiled, well, he wasn't a busy amateur, but what really inspired him was a legendary Juan Manuel Marquez, the 4-division champion, known for his precision, heart, and that iconic knockout of Manny Pacquiao. But Olivo credits Marquez's style and accomplishments as major influences on his own career. And
you can certainly see it in the way he carries himself, in the style, that technician attitude, counterpunching. There's a long way to go to equal that success, but he certainly is on a good track this fight so far.
There aren't many better counterpunchers than Juan Manuel Marquez. As we go to Larry Hazard, our unofficial scorer and rules expert, and we have him, well, he has Olivo up by 1, so that knockdown proving to be the difference right now in this hotly contested featherweight fight.
Cuello's having a great start this round, using a lot of jabs, stiff jabs. But that's what he runs into the problem with, is when Olivo starts to punch, he just stands there. He won't move his feet to take a step back, just to throw Olivo's distance off on his punching.
Oh, good counter right hand upstairs by Olivo. Lead right hand by Cuello. But it's the body shots, and again, the accumulation. Hey, he has a degree in finance. He's making that investment in the body, hoping to make a big withdrawal later in the fight. Oh, what about that left uppercut, right hook combination by Christian Olivo, Brian?
Well, the right hook has been his money punch in this fight. That's the punch that knocked Cuello down in round 2, and he's been looking to set that up as a perfect counter shot to counteract the constant pressure from Mirco Cuello.
We're a minute away from the midway point of the fight. Sugar Hill, quickly, what adjustment does Cuello need to make?
I think he was making good adjustments this round here with the jab. He's throwing more right hands instead of trying to look for one big left hook. And it's been doing pretty good for him this round. The only thing, the problem that I'm seeing him still having is just he's just going into a block mode, and he's not moving his feet.
Oh, beautiful counter left hook by Olivo, again rattling Cuello upstairs, and follows up with a jab. And Brian, I was going to ask you about Olivo adjustments, but man, if it ain't broke, why fix it, right?
I mean, how do you beat speed and aggressiveness with timing? Olivo certainly using his head in this fight as he targets the body there with a combination.
And just when I thought that was it, he gets caught pulling out of these combinations a lot. Cuello does. Olivo's catching him every time, or not every time, but he's catching him quite a bit, pulling out of the combinations with clean shots like that again.
Featherweight division on display here. Featherweight title up for grabs later tonight. Let's go to Jordan Platt standing by with Stephen Scooter.
Thanks, Morrell. You told us in fighter meetings that Figueroa brings the best out of you, but you know what's interesting?
I'm sure I don't want to lose again. I hated the way that felt the first time, so it could be potentially fight of the year.
And you seem like you may be looking for some redemption and to solidify that first win. What would it mean to you to win the WBC featherweight title and become 2-division world champion?
It would mean a lot. I feel like that's like Hall of Fame status right there. So like, I'm not trying to like think too much on it. I just want to get the job done at this point.
Looking forward to you in the ring. Thank you, Stephen. Good to see you. Morrell, back to you.
All right, Jordan. Stephen Fulton, Brandon Figueroa will reignite their rivalry for the featherweight title. This one producing a potential future world title challenger. The favorite, Mirco Cuello, went down in round 2, and he is definitely in tough against the underdog Christian Olivo. After 5 rounds, Olivo ahead in the statistical department, including landing 120 total punches compared to 92 for Cuello. 87 to 58 advantage for Olivo in body shots, and they're about even in the jabs department.
Well, we saw how close Larry Hazzard's unofficial scorecard was earlier, and this is going to be a question for the judges. Are you going to prefer the forward pressure, the volume of Cuello, or the more accurate counter punches from Olivo? It's going to be interesting. This is a close and competitive fight here.
Yeah, the thing I'm getting from this fight in certain points is like Cuello does something very good. He'll jab, he'll land some good shots, and then on his way out, he pulls out with his hands down, and he gets caught with a big shot, which takes away everything that he did. Puts himself right back in the hole again.
Oh, lead right uppercut and the right hand to the body. Olivo, no single shots. Everything is a combination, whether with one hand or two. Doubling up, tripling up with the left hand. Cuello goes to the body with a left hook. Stiff jab from Cuello. But back comes Olivo. Nice counter right hand by Cuello upstairs.
Cuello reminding Olivo of that power that he brings. You see that left uppercut inside.
Go back to the jab, though. He's just got to go back to the jab, but things open up a lot more for him.
Past the midway point of the 6th. Olivo missing with sweeping hooks.
There he is. That's the jab. And you can see Olivo's face when he got hit with that jab.
That is the one department now where Cuello is leading, is in the jab. He's landed a total of 41.
There it is again.
Including 7 in this 6th round with a minute left. Stepping back is Cuello, avoiding that combination from Olivo.
The jab is one of the easiest punches to throw. It's the first punch you learn, actually.
Body shots continue to be story for Olivo.
Olivo's been very sneaky at these body shots. Been over-aggressive.
Earl Stewart wants to see more of the jab, and he's getting it from Mirco Cuello as we begin the 2nd half of this 10-round affair.
I'm happy about that because now it's making it more exciting. I don't want it to be a one-way fight right now. I like good fights.
Nice left hook to the body by Cuello. Responds in kind, does Olivo. Good action here at featherweight.
Si lo puede apretar ahí para sacarlo, apretalo.
Press him, press him. High defense. High guard. Alert with that defense.
La defensa, pero apretalo.
But press, please.
Metele en la pelea corta. Metele duro, loco.
The inside fight. We want the inside fight. Come on. Inside punches. Be careful when you pull out. You got more variety. You got more punches. I like this round. I like this round.
Vamos, campeón.
Let's go, champ. Press. Combinations. Let's go.
At the beginning of this fight, I mentioned that Cuello was coming off a career-long run-up of 309 days. Any evidence of rust or timing issues, Sugar Hill, from Cuello? I don't want to take away from Olivo's fight, just mentioning the fact that, yeah, he's coming off you never want a fighter to be off that long.
Well, I mean, if he stayed in the gym and doing what he's supposed to do as a real fighter, staying in the gym, staying ready, you know, it shouldn't be a problem. But I don't think he's got any ring rust right now. And he's doing much better with this jab. It's actually slowing Olivo down.
Hardcore boxing fans may have recognized that voice in the face in the corner of Cuello. It's Mariano Natalio Carrera, who once fought for a secondary world title at middleweight in 2006, knocked out Javier Castillejo. The failed drug test turned that into a no contest.
And just like Mirco Cuello, Carrera represented Argentina in the Olympics.
He's a hero in his home nation, and right now looking to urge his charge on. And as we roll into the second half of this fight.
And for Olivo, he has Alfredo Leon, the 36-year-old former amateur boxer, in his corner.
Oh, there's the jab.
Yeah, Cuello unbeaten, but down for the first time in his career in round 2, trying to fight his way back, putting together combinations and establishing the jab. Oh, beautiful couple of right hands. Found their mark curling around the guard of Cuello, and Cuello's high guard just allows Olivo to go downstairs with a little shoe shine action.
Well, you're starting to also see some swelling on the face of Cuello as Olivo continues to time him with those clean counter shots.
He really is a Juan Manuel Marquez disciple when it comes to counters. Wow, beautiful combination. Lead right, left hand, splits the guard of Cuello. Oh, and clips him with the right across the jawline.
That has been the punch that's been a problem for Cuello this whole fight, that counter short right hand.
Christian Olivo has been a problem for Mirco Cuello this entire fight.
I wish he would just go back to the jab again.
The determination to the body by Olivo. And now Cuello puts together a nice 3-punch combination that scored upstairs. Just over 30 seconds left in round 7.
This fight is still very much up for grabs. I'm interested to see how the judges are leaning.
Toughest fight of his life for Mirco Cuello. Digs to the body and then follows up with a jab.
With a jab. I like that.
But he's going to have to do more than just jab to get back into the system.
You notice that left body shot from Olivo. Mirco made a face after that.
Profundo.
This is an exciting fight.
Perfecto.
Perfect. Hey, what's going on? You're good? For sure? Hey, listen. Really good round. He caught you with that right hand. Put those hands up. Every time you throw your jab and your right hand, it lands clean. You gotta keep doing it and then finish to the body. Keep that rhythm. Combinations of 3-4 punches and they're gonna land cleanly. Put it inside and then finish from the outside. You can be in the center of the ring. Finish it.
And there is that left hand that continues to deliver Christian Olivo as the round begins here. This is round number 8, scheduled for 10 at featherweight. The favorite, been down once already, that being Mirco Cuello of Argentina. Christian Olivo, the Mexican fighter, proudly representing Hermosillo and Sonora, Central Mexico, the home of former 2-division champ Juan Francisco Estrada.
Olivo continuing to target that body. I thought that late punch last round may have hurt Cuello. See that focus from Olivo. How about that determination in his face? As you said, Sugar, this is a fantastic back and forth fight.
Yeah, it's back and forth. No one has taken total control yet. You have Olivo do some great things in there, and then he'll stop all of a sudden. Then you have Cuello. He does good, and then he'll stop, and he'll drop his hands at the end and get caught. So it's going back and forth, but it makes it exciting. But as a trainer, I want my fighter to still take control. Stay in control. If the jab is working, go back to what's working and stay in control of the fight.
Like David Benavidez, who will be involved in that Much anticipated main event grudge match with fellow unbeaten fighter David Morrell. Cuello, oh, he just hit another combo, but Cuello has shown a good lead right hand like Benavidez. Needs to use that more, does need to put together combinations. And if it starts with the 1, it follows with the 2. Hey, keep it simple, stupid, right?
So this is what, there you go, this is what Cuello should still be jabbing at. You can't take these breaks on these rounds.
I did like what I just saw there, the added wrinkle of Olivo going to the body but finishing upstairs with that right hand.
Yeah, listen, like I said, this fight is just going back and forth. It makes it a good fight.
Brian, what is your, with a minute left here in the 8th, what's your takeaways? What are you seeing, and where do you see this headed?
Look, for as close as this fight has been, and it continues to be, Olivo's starting to do a little bit more work, and certainly he's done better work, it seemed, throughout this fight. Can he bring his output up to match the effectiveness of his counter shots while still dealing with those power hooks from Cuello? This is a close fight that's seemingly only getting closer as we get...
Getting closer to the end.
Exactly.
I'm enjoying it.
A very close round here in terms of punches thrown and landed, but it's Olivo still with the edge.
Yeah, it's still just going back and forth. Like you'll see Cuello land a good shot, then Olivo comes right back. I mean, so he's clearly into the fight, and he's clearly, you know, doing what he's supposed to do to win a fight. You can't just do something good and just take off.
Great stuff here in featherweight, and we are expecting scintillating stuff when Isaac Cruz returns to the ring. Pitbull Mania has taken over Mexico, and he loves to fight here in Las Vegas. And last time he took an L, but tonight he'll look to bounce back. And they say styles make fights. For Isaac Cruz, it's all about coming forward. It's all about aggression. It's all about embodying that Mexican style of fighting. And when he faces compatriot Angel Fierro, the prognostication is pugilistic pyrotechnics. It's all Mexico. It's Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Angel Fierro, all a part of what promises to be a memorable PBC Pay-Per-View, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Right now, it's time for the penultimate round. I always love saying that word. Round 9, scheduled for 10 at 126. And yeah, things are heating up.
Let's see who can close stronger here. 2 rounds to go, a very close fight. You see Mirco Cuello stepping on the gas early.
And Cuello now walking down Olivos and just stalking him, and now showing aggression. And there, a frustrated Cuello being warned by the referee. But this is, I guess, what Cuello's corner wants to see out of him, that urgency, that tenacity.
Well, look, his unbeaten record hangs in the balance here. This has been his toughest test to date as a professional, without question.
And Sugar Hill, look at these numbers. Olivo is I mean, again, the numbers don't tell the story, but, I mean, look at this stat. It speaks volumes because of the volume of Olivo.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of good work. Punching at the end of the combinations, catching Cuello. And,
he caught some shots there from Cuello to the face.
Cuello started off strong, and this is what I'm talking about now. It seems like Olivo's got a rhythm, and Cuello's taking a break, and then he's giving away these punches, giving away back to round again.
But defense becoming a little more porous, Brian, making for more action for the fans, but both of them are landing flush shots here in the 9th.
It's late in this fight. Fatigue setting in, but you see that urgency from Cuello this round. You wonder if his team might believe that he's down. This has been a very close fight, but those punch numbers have been in the direction of Olivo.
Oh, the right hand scores for Cuello.
Cuello's having a very good round. I'm just hoping he can keep it up.
Right uppercut, right hook to the body by Olivo. I'm very impressed with not only the creativity of Olivo's combinations, but the punch placement and the ability to continue to land to the body and land those kinds of combinations through a high guard.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Listen, Olivo's having good success because when Cuello gets to a certain distance and right in punching range, he'll just stop and put his hands up the block, and that's when Olivo starts to jab and then throw a left hook to the body, right hook to the body, left hook up top. And all Cuello has to do is just continue to keep jabbing.
Oh, beautiful, Brian. I mean, it doesn't get better than Olivo going to the body and then going upstairs. Downstairs, upstairs, continues to pick away, but Cuello's always got that left hook to the body as well.
This round has been about, the aggressiveness of Cuello. Now they're just taking turns with three-punch combinations, one after another.
I thought we were going to see a 10-finger guillotine, but the gloves are up.
It makes it so exciting to watch as a fan, but if I'm in the corner of the trainer, I'm mad at both of these fighters.
Well, I'll tell you, the amped-up offense of Cuello, he has thrown 60 punches in this round, has landed 19 compared to 14 for Olivo. The 10th and final round is upon us. A fantastic featherweight fight comes down to the final round.
Get some water. Give me the belt piece.
Profundo, nariz y boca.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Estás on round, güey, no mames.
One more round, one more round.
Enfócate.
Focus, focus.
Profundo.
One round, guys. Oh, you got him already. You can't give this round away. I want the perfect round.
Fuerte, firme, Mirco.
Come on, Mirco.
Zona. Vamos. Baja tu centro de gravedad y ponete bajito, cazador, Mirco. Un round.
Attacking, come on. Last round.
No se puede escapar este tipo. No
We can't let this round go. You gotta let everything out.
Está claro, eso no le gusta.
The body, he doesn't like the body. Come on. Alert.
Mirco Cuello's undefeated record hangs in the balance. The experienced underdog, Christian Olivo, knocked Cuello down for the first time in his career in round 2. He's been diligent, going to the body, putting together the more creative and crafty combinations. While Cuello does have the more eye-catching power, he's been unable to slow down his opponent.
Indeed, Mo, and you heard the urgency from both corners. You're seeing that play out in front of us.
I was sitting here thinking the same thing about the corners. They gave great instructions. They need this last round. Olivo's, we need the last round, and for Cuello, oh my gosh.
From my vantage point, Cuello needs the last round a lot more than Olivo. But I'm not a judge and I don't play one on TV.
The only scorecards that matter are those three individuals ringside.
2 minutes to rule them null and void, and Olivo again lighting up Cuello with a combination and a stiff jab.
Oh, good right hand.
Cuello again with the right, clips Olivo. And Olivo leaned into that right, and now, for one of the few times they clinch.
Cuello throws a very good straight right hand. A lot of times he loops it, but when he throws a straight right hand, he gets a lot of power on it, and he catches Olivo.
And look at our unofficial score.
Oh, great body shot.
Larry Hazard scorecard. He has Cuello up by 2 points. Interesting. Cuello's been down once, but he appears to like what he's seeing from Cuello.
There
and
it is.
Olivo is down. Dramatic knockdown.
This is the kind of fights I like.
Mamma mia, high drama in Las Vegas. Cuello went down in the second.
He walked right into it.
Cuello drops Olivo twice in the 10th when he needs it most. Unbelievable. It's all out. Oh my. Just like that, from what could have potentially been the jaws of defeat. It's an unpopular stoppage here in Las Vegas, but it maintains Mirco Cuello's, almost said croak up, Mirco Cuello's undefeated record. Brian, it doesn't get much more dramatic than
That's
this.
how you finish off a final round in a close fight. You heard the urging from the corner. Cuello embodied that, scoring a pair of knockdowns, and obviously the crowd didn't love the stoppage, but referee Chris Flores certainly thought he saw something in the eyes of Olivo.
Both fighters going down for the first time in their respective careers. It was Olivo doing it in round 2, counter right, but in the 10th and final round, Sugar Hill, you know Emmanuel's up there smiling at what he just saw with Cuello closing the show in style.
Yeah, that was one of those Gerald McCullough left hooks to the body, just right up the middle. And the final knockdown, he came right in and just slipped and threw it. And you can see Olivo's face was just like, he was in so much pain. I didn't know he was getting up from the second one, actually. He got up, and the referee just called it off, probably just because of the body language. We don't see it sitting out here, but the referee is right there close enough to understand if he can take it or not.
Christian Olivo down for the count, but he needs to hold his head high.
I want to see Christian Olivo
again. Let's take a look at the way this fight ended. The two knockdowns as these two warriors embrace.
Nice setup. He's setting it up right now for the left hook to the body, solo plex. You can see all the pressure he put. That's a great body shot placed on the outside. That was the first knockdown. There it is, right in the middle. And you can see his face.
How poetic is it that in a fight where Mirco Cuello was outlanded to the body 89-39, he uses a pair of body shots to improve to 15-0 with 12 KOs, one step closer to featherweight gold.
Yeah, listen.
Got to take your hat off to him.
Let's make it official with Miguel Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Chris Flores calls a stop to this contest at 2 minutes and 1 second of the 10th and final round. For your winner by TKO and still undefeated, Mirco Cuello.
Here in the home of the Vegas Golden Knights, we've seen a hat trick of hits, a hat trick of dramatic knockouts. Let's hope this is what is just an appetizer to what's to come on pay-per-view, Mr. Brian Custer. Tonight could be a night to remember, my man.
What a fight between these guys. Congratulations to Mirco Cuello as he continues to remain unbeaten. What a way to come back in a dramatic fashion in the 10th and final round. I think it's important to point out to the people watching, going into the 10th round, the judges had Olivo up 88-82, 87-83. That man right there, 86-84. All three judges had it for that man right there. Christian Olivo, all he had to do, Joe Goosen, was survive that 10th round.
Well, I mean, 100% correct. He was way ahead on the cards. I didn't think anything different than that. Now, there was probably, what, a minute left in the round, or a little bit less, I'm not sure. But the bottom line is that I would be a little irritated right now if I was in that corner. Now, again, the referee made the decision, but when you're that far ahead, I would have known in the corner that he was that far ahead. I know all he had to do was survive, maybe a 45 seconds, and he's the winner of the fight easily. So, it's a tough thing to lose a fight like that. But then again, Olivo didn't really show a lot of consternation about it being stopped on him. So that leads you to believe maybe the referee made the exact right call because of the body language that was being, shown to him by Olivo at the time, and he didn't get a lot of pushback from stopping that fight, did he?
So now let's go to Cuello as we take a look at some of the highlights of this fight here, because you heard the urgency in Cuello's corner, like, hey, look, you need this. Tell me about what you like the way he came back in that 10th round.
Well,
get two knockdowns.
Look, I mean, his corner called it exactly right. He said he did. And look, Cuello had a great 9th round, too. You could tell that Olivo was fading. And the corner in between the 9th and 10th round said, look, he doesn't like it to the body. They made a great call, and he was right. And that's one of the things that Cuello does best, is that liver shot. I mean, watching his films, we knew that. So it was a perfectly placed shot twice, put him down twice, and the referee stopped it. And look, it's a big victory for Cuello right now, and a hard loss for Olivo.
Yeah, and what a victory for him. And both of these guys talked about, hey, they would love the winner of the Brandon Figueroa-Stephen Fulton fight that we'll see on pay-per-view later today?
Well, I'll tell you what, Cuello's the winner, and if he fights Brandon Figueroa, he better clean up his defense, because it's like I said about Curmel. He threw that left hook, but he doesn't budge that right hand. You can see in this whole fight, that right hand was dropping from Cuello. That's why he was getting hit with the left hook. And then Olivo would throw the left uppercut, bam, right hand, because the left hand was down. He better clean that up, or he's in big trouble with the top guys.
Yeah, absolutely. He did get hit with a lot of over-the-hand, straight right hands. Yeah. Hey, listen, got a programming note for you, because Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach, they're going to fight. It comes your way March 1st, Barclays Center. Tank's WBA lightweight title on the line. Roach, the WBA super featherweight champion, moving up in weight, taking on one of the sport's most fearsome punchers in this DMV battle between Baltimore and DC's finest. We talked about Stephen Fulton Jr., Brandon Figueroa. You know, they first met back in November of 2021. Both were unbeaten champions looking to unify titles. Fulton won a close, some felt controversial, major decision. Now we get the rematch here tonight, and it's at 126 pounds. Figueroa, you see him, he's the champion, making his first title defense at featherweight. Fulton looking to become a two-division champion, proved for the first time. When he got the victory, it was no fluke. You look at the tail of the tape of this rematch. Brandon, younger, taller, longer reach. But you know, that first fight was a punching palooza. Over 1,000 punches thrown, and this rematch shouldn't be any different.
Oh, you want a message straight to him right now?
I'm coming with everything. I'm coming to steal the show. Coming to make a statement. A Philly fighter is an all-around fighter, and we do what we have to do to win. I'm coming to win. I know you're coming to win. I don't take easy fights. They know that I come prepared. They know I throw 1,000 punches a fight.
Any fight that I'm ever in is an exciting fight.
Do I think Stephen Fulton's the same fighter? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he has the same hunger, the same fight.
I will be victorious. I will defeat you a second time.
You really think you won the fight?
It was a close fight.
Nah, I'm not. You really think you won the fight?
It was a close fight. Yeah, I won.
Said over 1,000 punches were thrown the first time these guys, I mean, look, 1,700. I mean, these guys threw a whole lot. It was non-stop action. One thing I thought about was Brandon Figueroa telling us, hey, look, I'm not going to throw as many punches, but I want to make sure I'm more accurate this time.
And that makes all the sense in the world. You want to be accurate. You could throw you don't win fights by throwing a lot of punches. You win fights by landing punches. So when you're more accurate and you land better, you've got a better chance of winning, hurting your opponent, and winning the fight. So, you know, he learned a lot from that last fight, Brandon Figueroa, and I'm sure Fulton did as well. And I doubt they're going to change their style much, but I think they've probably tried to clean up and improve on some of the deficiencies that both of them had in that fight.
It was so close the first time around. When you talk about cleaning things up and making adjustments, who would you lean on saying
needed to clean up more?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing is, and I was taught this long time, once that back leg hits that rope, make a turn. And Fulton's going to have to do that. It's not going to be easy because Figueroa looks like he's in great shape right now. On the other hand, with Figueroa, he's just got to be more accurate. I think, you know, he can't waste punches on looping punches that are being blocked. And then he was getting countered up the middle a lot by Fulton. So he's got to tighten up his defense, be more selective with his punches, and that way he'll be more effective with his punches. So I think that's what both of them could probably use.
That will be the co-feature, co-main event that you'll see on pay-per-view. The main event will be David Benavidez and taking on David Morrell. And you know, last year, David Benavidez made his light heavyweight debut on that Tank Davis card here in Las Vegas. Morrell, he also moved up to 175 in August as the two failed to lure Canelo Alvarez into the ring. Instead, they'll go through each other tonight on pay-per-view with a shot at the light heavyweight title on the line. Now listen, you talk about the tail of the tape of these guys. They match up pretty well. Morrell is the first opponent Benavidez has ever faced who's younger, and Morrell enjoys that kind of reach advantage that only one previous Benavidez opponent had before. But Benavidez, Joe, more experienced at the top level. This is not a fight many would have taken. But David Benavidez, let's just say he's a throwback kind of fighter.
But every so often, a showdown offers more than just competition.
I want to see him break his fucking mouth. I'm gonna break your fucking mouth. You think you're scary? Who the fuck do you think you are? Shut the fuck up, dude.
On February 1st, David Benavidez and David Morrell, they carry the future of the light heavyweight division. It's a battle to prove who deserves to challenge for the crown.
Benavidez unloading. Morrell looking for the finish. He is down.
And neither is willing to take a step back.
I've been wanting a hard fight like this for a long, long time. Just because I've been calling out Canelo didn't mean I just want the payday. I want a hard fight.
This will be really interesting here as you take a look at David Benavidez, El Monstro, the Mexican monster. You might remember this guy was the youngest super middleweight in boxing history. He was basically a teen. The guy was still drinking Similac. He was 21 when he became the super middleweight champion of the world. He has sparred just about everyone. Golovkin, and he was basically a baby when he was sparring Golovkin, Kelly Pavlik. He has had a lot of experience, but Morrell is a guy who's got that Cuban experience, very good amateur. When you've got two guys who's got good punching power, basically for the most part the same height, what's the difference? What usually is the difference in a fight of this magnitude?
Experience. Look, I mean, Morrell's got 11 fights. Now, is he ahead of is he very advanced in his style and his form and his performances? Yeah. I mean, he had a huge amateur career. Out of 135 fights, he won 130 of them. Try to do that in checkers. It's impossible. So he's a phenom, and he's actually really slick, and he hits hard. On the other hand, Benavidez has fought everybody. The experience quotient is huge for him, and he's going to use every bit of experience in this fight against Morrell. The thing about Benavidez is if he gets close to you and he starts working and you make any defensive mistakes, his hands are so quick, he throws great combinations, real combinations, and they're sharp and they're hard and they're effective. If Benavidez can start doing that, if Morrell makes some simple inexperienced mistakes by dropping his hands a little bit, let's say throw a right uppercut and gets hit with a counter right hand, that will not serve him well. So he better be on his top of his game on defense, Morrell.
Well, you listen, this is the prize here. The winner of this fight becomes the mandatory for the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, and that is Artur Beterbiev. And of course, he's got the rematch with Bivol coming up. Yeah. But the winner of this fight becomes the mandatory for that fight, which should be one heck of a fight as well.
Well, look, we're going to find out who's the best in the ring tonight with Benavidez and Morrell. To me, this is what makes it so exciting. Even though Morrell only has 11 fights, he's got 9 knockouts, he's really, has more experience than his record would show. He's very fluid in the ring. He's got great movement. He's got great reach. He hits really hard. He's a southpaw. He could prove very difficult for Benavidez tonight. But here's the thing. When Benavidez starts putting that pressure on you, and it's a 12-round fight, and round after round you start fighting for your life a little bit, let's see if Morrell can hold up down the stretch. I think that's going to be the key.
All right. Now, I want to bring up something here. If you take a look at the fight card that's coming your way in just a few moments here, 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock here in Las Vegas. 4 fights, folks, headlined by Benavidez and Morrell. But it also features, as we talked about, a featherweight WBC title fight between Brandon Figueroa, the champion, making his first defense against Stephen Fulton Jr. This is a rematch from a fight that was 4 years ago. Now listen, that's a fight that was a fight of the year candidate. Isaac Cruz will be on. He will be taking on Angel Fierro, and you want to talk about an all-Mexican civil war. Yeah. That's what you're going to get. And then Jesus Ramos taking on Jason Rosario. We haven't even really touched on that. Jesus Ramos is one of those guys you can see as a future champion at 154. Jason Rosario, you might forget, This guy was the unified champ at one point at 154. Obviously has fallen on hard times, says he has gotten his life back together, and now they will fight at middleweight at 160. Touch upon that fight for just a moment. Ramos and Jason Rosario.
Well, sometimes God sends you an angel, and an angel was sent to Jason Rosario by way of Bob Santos, trainer of the year a couple of years ago, future Hall of Famer. Now, he's got that going for him in the corner. On the other hand, you know, you got Ramos. He's a southpaw. He's a young kid. He is a pressure fighter, and he's a great body puncher. And if there's one place where Jason Rosario has been susceptible is to the body, and that left hand from a southpaw is straight ahead as that liver. And I think that may, if Jason Rosario can somehow defend himself against that body attack that Ramos is going to bring to him, I think he could be in this fight.
You know, that would be interesting, because especially in the early part of that fight, because Ramos said, hey, look, this is a fight where I got to be spectacular and show that I need a big fight, because he wants to drop back down to 154. But on the other side, when you talk about Banana and Jason Rosario, he can punch. There's one thing that he can do, he can punch. So you almost get a sense that he's got to weather the early rounds that come with Ramos, and then he needs to try to land something.
Listen, I called his fight when he fought Julian Williams, J-Rock. And he came out, was so explosive. It shocked everybody. It shocked J-Rock, it shocked the crowd, it shocked us. He's capable of doing that. He's very capable of doing that. And Bob Santos has him in 100% shape for this fight and has a good game plan for him. This could be a major upset tonight, because I got to believe that Ramos is the favorite in this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, coming your way here on pay-per-view, again, you have got one heck of a card. 4 fights, and take a look at this, folks. Everybody on this fight card is 30 years old and under. Everybody in their prime for the most part. Former champions, current champions, top contenders. And listen, we're almost done here on Prime Video with our prelims. Don't forget, we've got the pay-per-view. All you've got to do, hit that QR code right there on the screen. And of course, we will see you at the top of the hour. 4 fights, all 4 high-quality matchups. The main event, unbeaten fighters, knockout artists, David Benavidez, David Morrell. This is a grudge match and a fight that has been brewing for 2 years. That will be the main event. The co-main, the rematch between Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton. They fought at 122 4 years ago. It was a 2021 Fight of the Year candidate. Tonight, it's Brandon Figueroa who comes in as the champion. Now for Mauro Ranallo, Sugar Hill Stewart, Joe Goosen, the Hall of Famer, Jordan Plant. I'm Brian Custer. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you at the top of the hour on pay-per-view.
Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton reignite their rivalry in a featherweight rematch to settle unfinished business.
I've been hungry ever since I lost. People be forgetting who I am. I gotta just remind motherfuckers.
Wow! Isak.
I'm coming to knock him out. You know, that's the way his business goes.
Nah. Hospital or cemetery.
Conflict.
Hell no, you're not going to go my mouth.
Talking all that shit.
Is the soul of boxing. But February